Whoa, hey everybody, it's Awestruck Comics Podcast Reviews Day. Lots of good stuff this week. Lots of fun stuff this week. Quick plugs on Instagram. Idiosyncratic Pulp. I'm working on a few different projects. P. Craig Russell month. And you got stuff. You're on things.
Yep. Rob Messick is
Pop
it's
in.
Youngblood year. It is Weird Art year. It is Supreme Maximum Press. Those are my Twitter. Rob Messick and Maximum Supreme are my Twitters. Awestruck Comics on Facebook. Uh, we are also Awestruck Comics Gmail. If you want to Gmail us, if you want to leave a comment, leave a comment. You want to give us a suggestion of a book that you'd like to see us review, whether a new book or an older book. We will occasionally do some specials about older books.
Yep.
We're working on one right now dealing with Last Blood, which is not that old. It's only about a year old. But you're going
But
to see other
not
stuff from
not
us,
mass distributed. So
not mass distributed. So it's a review that, and hopefully people can find it. They're on eBay. I know Rob has a newer printing of it with the new cover on his Whatnot show. So
that's Saturday nights.
it's Wednesdays and Saturdays typically. I know they have a new Last Blood uh, miniseries that started called Last Blood Final Stand
Hmm.
that is mostly drawn by Marat Michaels, but has some good Liefeld pages as an opening and ending. I should be getting mine someday this week.
Yeah, man.
So
Coming
yeah,
over.
check it. Fun stuff, dude. Fun stuff. If you don't want to pay they're a little pricier because they are so rare. Every variant of this cover, there's only going to be 80 of them.
Hmm.
There's only 80 per comic. So you're spending a little more to get them. But he will collect them eventually. So if you're patient, just wait for a collection.
Just wait for it.
But if you want to
Let's
get
see.
the gist of it, check out our review.
Coming up. Doing it
Coming
live.
up.
So big week, big week. Let's jump into reviews. Oh, I did not do that. Let me put that over there. Let's convert in our
Look at
briefcase.
all this personal information.
Oh, there we go. I won't cut all that up. So I didn't put normally I put things in we should go DC, Image, Marvel, Indies. This week I'm all over the place. Because
Which
as I was
reflects your
reading
life.
them, that's right. This is pretty. This is almost close to the order I read them. Actually, it was kind of fun. This was my number one book because this was the previous Conan Marvel team. Jason
Right.
Aaron, Mahmoud Azra, Bug Wars. I feel like I had some of this listed. I thought it said Bugs Wars, so I was looking for it, and then it's just called Bug Wars.
Just bug. You don't call things
Uh,
bugs wars.
Bugs Wars. But
Bugs with the Z. That's how you
yeah,
know it's
but I
cool.
saw a lot of articles. Forbes actually covered this week. I guess it was a slow news week or whatever. Or they press released it to Forbes. Forbes had it and just said Conan the Barbarian meets Honey I Shrunk the Kids. It's always something meets Honey I Shrunk the Kids, so that's fine. I think. There's the variant cover. I thought the variant covers were okay, but again, we don't really know what the characters are like. I thought this one I couldn't really tell. I thought this looked like a Mike Del Mundo, but it was not.
It does have that coloring
Uh,
style.
yeah, but when I first looked at it, I was like, oh, that's cool, and I was like, oh, it's a big mantis. Like I didn't realize like what it was at first. This I got to get to my daughter who is literally in entomology school. Um,
Bug
so
school.
is literally in University of Delaware studying entomology. So this I thought was pretty cool. What is this?
So
So the
much
first
smarter than you.
page, that's correct, please. We want that. And
We do.
what does this look like? Was this a storybook or something that like we had when we were kids, like golden books or something? I feel like the style of this is something.
Yeah, it's very possible. It looks like that style of children's book that, was probably a little bit older even when we got them.
Yeah, but what
But
was
yeah,
kind
a
of
lot of our books would always start with that large capital letter and a nice
the,
font. Sometimes
the
there'd be,
drawing.
I think maybe Sock Monkey might have did this too. I feel like
Mhm.
Tony Millionaire Sock Monkey books because he did a series of children's books on top of his Maki's comic strips.
Oh, right. So yeah, this was this was hands down like my book of the week. I thought this was great. This had I think it was almost like 10 in a row, double spread splash pages, just
Yes.
on and on and on, just like world building, tribes, ants, barbarism, sure. But I just thought all this was it could be Conan. It could be in the Hyperborean age. Like I like some of the later Conan, Savage Sword of Conan stuff where they have a lot of weird magic and a lot of other creatures and stuff that kind of came in besides just normal sword and sandal stuff.
Do
Very
you do
violent.
you think a lot of the extra Conan stuff was because He-Man was Conan. They're like, oh, He-Man's got all these cool characters. Let's do some weird extra Conan characters.
I don't know. Most of that
You know,
stuff, yeah,
it's
it could be.
inspiration inspired by inspiration.
It could
You
be. I
know,
mean, some of the later, yeah, like I would say like the 85 on, 85 to 95 was a bit more, which had more fantastical elements in Savage Sword. And then I thought when it went to Conan the Savage and Conan,
Mhm.
I thought that was, remember Conan had like the Joe Bennett extreme like Conan and
Oh yeah,
like you had
that's where Conan looked like Prophet.
exactly right. So that's what I mean is that
But again,
it turned the
Prophet
other way.
was partially inspired by Conan
Right.
and Captain America.
And then we talked
So
about
that's
I grabbed an Ash Zero yesterday at a shop for $1 or actually for 50 cents.
yeah,
And just because I wasn't sure if I had it, but also I had because it was polybagged, it was in a bag and it had an Ash calling card, a Dynamite Entertainment calling
right.
card.
A
So that was
telephone
awesome.
calling card.
Well, I
That's
guess
neat.
maybe it still has minutes on it. I don't know.
That's funny. And I had
That's pretty
said
funny.
I remember that Ash Zero reminded me of Prophet, and you're like, yeah, because he's
Mhm.
a barbarian. And I'm like, oh yeah, which goes back to Conan.
Right, right, right. He has a big fur. He has a big fur. It was in the cold. He's in snow. Yeah, just really, really
Yeah.
cool. So, like again, this lends well to that. What's funny is that I know that NBC and it's going to be on Peacock, I guess. But no one cares about Peacock. The NBC's doing like a kind of like a Planet Earth type of thing that Tom Hanks is going to um,
Narrate.
narrate, and he talked about fire ants this week on
Ooh,
Seth Meyers, and talked about how ants, if you're ever attacked by these ants, like and he was like, who gets the calling card to like film this? He's like, well, you got to film like a frog in the ice, or who's allowed to go to Hawaii, right? Who gets what straw do you get? But it took him like 8 years to film this thing. But he mentioned like these crazy ants. I hate ants scare the shit out of me. Like knowing about like
as
these
they
ants
should.
that can like eat you down to the bone.
They outnumber us in, like 1,000,000 to 1. There's
Yeah.
there's like 1,000,000. Yeah. So there's 1,000,000 ants for every one person. And I've
Um,
seen those videos of like those ants. Kathy got bit by a fire ant down in Florida, and it like hurt her for like weeks. That was one
that's so
bite.
scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weeks. So a lot of cool narration, a lot of cool like just crazy. I could have gone a whole issue with this,
Yes.
just this. However, after this, I think I did every page. After this, this is kind of the twist here, which you kind of see on the cover. You see the spray can on the
Yes.
cover, right? Because I don't even think I looked at any of the preview art or anything for this. I just knew it was coming out and knew it was a creative team. I was like, all right, I'm in. Fine, let's see what
Yep.
that's all about. I know Rob Liefeld talked about this on his podcast a few times.
Yeah.
He's
He
excited
was
for
he
this
was
as well.
excited for it.
But so they all get massacred at the end. So they all get massacred because guys mowing the lawn. It's just a guy mowing the lawn
Just a guy.
normally.
Just the lead singer of Death Clock mowing the lawn.
Exactly. So, Y'all Hall, which I zoomed in on, by the way. I zoomed in on the Y'all Hall, and that is
Yeah.
drawn. That is drawn. Because I was
Yes.
like, because I'm obsessed with lettering, and is the artist drawing the lettering or the sound effects? So, but this is somewhat like, and this to me, this is very much like what I want from number one issues or last issues. Okay, we'll talk about the last issue later on. That I'm like, why isn't there just a page of the artist writer saying like, hey, this is kind of where it's come from. Goodbye, hello.
Mhm.
This is a perfect image book because it has that in the end where it talks about stuff. It has some character designs. Like, just give me a number one. It's got stuff in it. Give me some stuff. Um, so Jason Aaron talks about how basically this is his backyard in Alabama when he was a kid, and he was as an imaginative kid would see these crazy freaking bugs out there or these beetles, and just came up with his own kind of concept. So I kind of
Yeah.
love this. I feel like
Bug
Jason Aaron is
Life.
strong in that
That, that
way.
that should have been the other name for this. Bug Life. Bug
Right.
Life. The other thing about Bug Life down south is that it's worse than it is up here in the north. Yeah, we have
Right.
our ants and we have our spiders. We have some black widows occasionally. Um, but they got scorpions down there. We don't have scorpions here in New
Right.
Jersey.
I
That is
don't
the
know.
thing.
Right.
We have cicadas. They're huge and creepy looking. You know, we got beetles. We got all sorts of stuff, but we don't have scorpions.
No, that's
I
fine.
guess I got a fascination with scorpions. So yeah, I like this book a lot. I liked all the barbarian type stuff to it. I liked a little bit of it's like almost like a modern take on sectars, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
You
so.
you and
This
even
is
the,
kind
the
of
way he names
everything.
some of the races. Yeah, it's almost like Like I read the recent Sectars. Like I love Sectars, not
Mhm.
because I was a big fan as a kid, but as the potential of what Sectars could be, which is the way I look at a lot of old IP. I hate saying IP. Um, so so he uses part of the Sectars in this in a way that I find really cool. Like he's making a bigger story. There's more armies. There's all these different, types of insects and human ant hybrids, and they're riding insects, but they're also half ant. I really like all of that stuff in a way that I guess Sectars never fulfilled upon that promise. Sectars was
Right.
created by one of Jim Henson's puppeteers. He had the
Mhm.
idea, and Jim Henson's like, we can't do anything with it, but feel free to take it anywhere. And he went and got the toy line made out of it.
That's nice. That's very uncorporate, where corporate's like, you made that on the company dimes and when you were on the clock, so that's ours now. So,
Yeah,
um, but pretty funny. They have a fake ad here. This is like Raid essentially here, and they have
right.
even the headless Cockroach Glue Motel and Hill Hiroshima Lone Napalm Screaming Mosquito Inferno Zapper Spider Baby Bonfire Super Gel, and then the cockroach here saying, no, please no, I have 200 children, which is
It's true.
horrible, very sad and true.
And gross.
Um, this got gross. Well, first off, I will say that in my life, my daughter has had bugs that we've had cockroaches. We never had a beetle like that. You can get that same. You can buy that beetle for like $30. Some states you can't. You can't. But my daughter typically comes home as multiple man. She has one or two mantises now, and when she comes home for any type of like leave or vacation or anything she always has. So these are very accurate cages. The cage that he has is in his room. Here's
Hmm.
some gruesome stuff. So the reason why, so the two brothers, basically the one brother, the death clock, mowing lawn, killing bugs. He hates bugs because he found his dad like this, which is ridiculously gruesome. It's really disgusting.
Right.
It's really disgusting.
But
Uh,
they're like, how the insects killed my dad. But that's clearly not. Unless one, the only I could
something
think of,
else is happening. Yeah.
something else is happening. Maybe the father had shrunk down and got eviscerated and then grew back up to this size, or somebody else killed him.
Right, because there's some medallion which is causing the Honey I Shrunk the Kid. You may be right. Yeah, this may have happened while he's there, and then when he's now dead, they're going to just eat him. It's going to feast
Right.
upon
Because
him.
that's what insects do.
Right. They're just doing what is nature, but really gross. So this is basically kind of, kind of skipping closer to the end. He's trying to get his beetle that got out of the cage, out of his, box cage
Right.
back, and then he grazes this medallion or broken medallion of some sort, and there he is now. He's on his actual beetle, which is, I mean, this first off, I imagine that either Mahmoud Asrar has some type of fascination with, or is doing an amazing amount of research. He has to have pretty good time because you're drawing
He
pretty accurate situations here.
he's a workhorse, that guy. I think he does his research. Like we've been a fan of his for, I think I've liked him since Jay Farber's Dynamo 5 book that
Yep.
came out through Image. But his Conan stuff was just incredible. Like Marvel got him, and Jay Farber's like, "What am I going to do?" Marvel got him. I
Right.
can't compete with Marvel.
Right. He did an X-Men something. I think he did one of the X-Men runs a little bit. Yeah, just really really great. His King Conan was excellent too. That last
Yes,
mini. This looked like something else. Like this is a little bit more actiony than that. Very gruesome and vulgar. But I was thinking of Ant-Man in this in a way too. Does he have the strength? Like, is he
right.
stronger down there?
Is he
Maybe.
stronger because his body full size is now compressed into something tighter, or is it because the medallion stuck to his chest?
Yeah,
Don't know.
that's fine.
But it's interesting. It's interesting that I guess I'm trying to look at the bone fragments. Like it's like, is it human bone skeleton? I guess. I
Um,
don't know.
yeah, it's
So I
pretty
see the spine
intense.
jetting out of
That
his neck.
color is
Yeah.
so good. Could be that. Could
Yeah.
be my Valiant Vision glasses that I have one too, though.
Yeah, right.
You should get these, dude. I'm telling you, they make everything look a little cooler.
All right.
Wow. Okay.
Does that include you?
Yes,
Wah,
that look
wah.
cooler. Wow. Not really. But yeah, just in general, this was my favorite new book for a long time. There's been a lot of good stuff. There's some good stuff. There's a good stuff lined up this week. But yeah, this is 5 out of 5 all around. It's Matt Wilson colors, so this is the same colorist of Firepower. I believe they all work together on Conan as well. I think so. But yeah, good to have them back together. What was funny when I first read this, I started getting mad at it because I had the mistake of thinking that it was ref that this guy was attached to Absolute Superman, which Absolute Superman is getting its footing art wise, but that was initially Raphael Albuquerque, not Mahmoud Asrar. But they are
Right.
somewhat similar. So as far as
Okay.
that's concerned, oh, I lose the
There you
screen.
go. All your
So,
all your Pornhub links are up.
yep. Whoopsie. All right, hold on one second. Let me get it back. Everything went off.
Grinder. That's weird. Not rushing anything.
Whoa. All right, so check it out. All right, so next up, kind of get through the stuff. There we go. Okay. Uh,
Aquaman.
yeah, so this was better than the first one, I believe. So Aquaman number two,
But I like
from
the first one.
DC. I like the first one. I just thought it didn't do a whole lot. It was just a kind of a big set. It's supposed to be a big
Well,
setup, right?
as a new writer, he's got to find his fins. Sorry about
Find
that,
his
everyone. I'll
fins.
I'll never say that again.
Find
Um,
his fins.
yeah, obviously the book looks great, and I love Jeremy Adams. He's the modern Jeff Johns, which is weird because Jeff Johns is still here. He
So
hasn't
here,
gone
just building
anywhere.
out building out his own thing, you know.
He is building out his own thing.
I like the logo quite a bit. I think that I'm not exactly sure how John Timms is drawing this. So when we look at some stuff a little bit later, I'll kind of describe what I'm saying here. But I like all the weird, lizard animal things. I still don't think there's enough emotion on a different emotion than Aquaman's face or anyone's faces really, that no one's really looking very different. They're all looking that like just straight stoic look, like mad. Um,
Right.
but this was actually really fun because I knew right off who this was. I knew exactly who this was straight off. So here's someone in captivity, and that, my friend, and he's literally, this is gross too. He's literally being
Yeah.
told to like put blood in so he doesn't like die. Like put telekinesis wise, put blood back in your body. So that's pretty gross. But this is Arion, baby. It's
That's right.
Arion, King of Atlantis. There he is, Arion the Immortal, baby. Now
He
there's
hasn't changed a
two.
bit.
There's two different. Well, this is the Arion, and it's funny. Like I went to my DC to see him. Like, oh, look at this. This is literally my experience with Arion. I think I've had some Arion books. I think I had almost a whole run. I picked him up in 50-cent bins and ended up selling them with like a big lot of ARAC and like all the other stuff. Anyway, but I think even paper wise, I read issue number one, and I tried to reread this recently. This is off the DC app. And what's funny about that is that they did this, and then as they were starting to do some of the, this was like, so this is the 80s like sword and sorcery little explosion, right? This is
Right.
Arak, Beowulf, Arion, Amethyst, all A's. Like, but
Yeah.
like this was right around that time. But you got Jan Durs and Paul Kupperberg went to Doug Mensch after that. But what's funny, and Paul Kupperberg, I guess, came back. But I remember buying this, and I've had this set multiple times, and I've sold it multiple times, and I've never read it. And you can see even here, I read
Yeah.
a, a little over half. So I can't seem to finish either of these. So that's really funny. Um, but yeah, so that is why is this getting stuck? My my preview is not working right.
Uh,
Man. Oh, there we go. Now it's really working. Look at that.
there you go. Super fast. All right.
All right, so here we go. So this is what I was saying. How is he drawing this? So look at this. So there's your double spread splash page.
hmm
How is he
Blood
drawing
blood
this
splash.
stuff? Like what? Like all like this? Like you're
No, it's
drawing
true.
all that? Like
What is that? I can't imagine. I don't know.
I guess
Is he
so,
drawing
but
part of it? Is he drawing
no,
maybe?
it's all
It's very
outline.
intricate.
Yeah, like I think that this stuff Rex Locus is doing here, but anything with a branch or anything on it or the holes, like I wonder if this is a program he's able to paste that in. But it's great. I'm not complaining, but this is kind of similar to
It's a
what we're
lot
seeing
of work. That
over the
is
Dan
that you don't
Morris
need.
doing.
I mean,
I
you,
know, but
you
it
could have
looks
just
awesome. But look at this.
any
So that's what I'm
lazy.
saying. I'm saying like, are you taking a picture of branches outside and then popping that in? Because that's clearly the vines here clearly are drawn. and outlined. Yeah. This here clearly could be a picture than Photoshop. Whatever you're doing, great. But again, like I said, just give me a little bit more facey stuff. That's it. A little more facey stuff. That's it. Um, but I don't know. But here's the thing. I unfortunately, because of fucking bleeding cool, they had something about a future issue of this. So
Ugh.
him saying New God here is something, and I don't know. I don't want to know that. Now I know a little bit of that, and I don't love that. So, and I also don't
I
know.
hate bleeding cool.
Yeah, they're just. I hate stuff right in. Don't put it right in title or headline. I mean, that's the point because it's clickbait and all that stuff, whatever, I guess. Just, but yeah, so I give this 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. Dark Patterns 3. I hate this book. I love this book, right?
Right?
Love this book. 4.5 out of 5. But I hate nails. I hate rebar. This is just consistently the rebar is these things here. Blah, like, and there's so much gross. This is just teen. I guess if I was a 13-year-old, I would be loving the gore in this, right? I would love this stuff.
Yeah.
So again, Dan Waters. I had to look up Dan Waters because the area of Gotham they go in. There's two things geographically I don't like about this book, and it goes back to even Chuck Dixon time when Nightwing came out. If you remember, Nightwing came out, and I had objection with Nightwing, the ongoing series when it first came out. And Brian Hines, like, this was great. It was so great, so great. He went to Bloodhaven, which was a town we never heard about. It's like a suburb, right? It's a suburb of Gotham that was like worse than Gotham. And I'm like, but
I don't think it was. It was supposed to be like, it was like 90 miles away. It wasn't like a suburb.
yeah, but it was like, but it's like, I just didn't like that it was like going to be worse than Gotham. So here we have a Cherry Hill area that keeps mentioning Cherry Hill in
Isn't
there.
that
And that
funny?
wasn't really it. Yeah, but I checked this guy's from London. He's not from around here. I was like, Cherry
Okay.
Hills, I feel is very Jersey. I don't know. I'm sure there's other Cherry Hills. Um,
There is.
But then I also didn't like that they have this town essentially that he goes to where this guy is, and it's off, and then it's almost like a runoff town, right? Where the water affected all these people, and they can't feel stuff. And also Batman, I know it's Batman year one, two, whatever. He gets beat up pretty easily by everyone here. I also really like the costume. The cut here is interesting on the cowl here, right?
Hmm.
But I think that the cut there is also. I love the
Yeah.
big the big that's been from issue
It's like
one.
it's like a Superman symbol big.
It's yeah, it's really, really big. That's what she said. But I don't like that he gets, and I feel like this is kind of the most Batman-y pose that he does.
Hmm.
That's like the Jim Lee pose. That's a
It's a
Jim
Jim
Lee
Lee.
cover.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Listen, I mean, this guy's got every influence possible, right? I feel like when he's doing Absolute Wonder Woman, he's pulling from the guy who originally drew Wonder Woman, right? He's drawing like that. He's drawing like J.H. Williams in layout. Here you have a different colorist. I believe it's Trina Farrell here, but his art style here is more J.H. Williams III, Frank Avila, and Eduardo Rizzo, and then I have a little bit of Jim Lee. And hey, man, whatever, cool. I just think he gets beat up a little too easily here. Here's some horrible, horrible rebar.
I know. You
Please,
must have
this is
loved this scene.
you probably. I'm sure you were thinking about me when you saw this, Rob.
I was
But
absolutely thinking about you.
I would just like just because this is so creepy and horrible and uncomfortable, and I do like that this is basically like a. It's funny we're getting a Black Mask story here a little bit, with Christopher Sionis, and then you were getting that in Absolute Batman. Um,
Right.
but to kind of explain why he's able to inflict all of this pain is pretty gross. This is the best page of the book, I think, because you have three different. So you have almost like there's a J.H. Williams a third up top there. I would say that there's a Sean Phillips, J.H. Williams, Sean Phillips, and that could be like a Franco V. Just tight or Russo, right? And I like that it's not perfect. I just think I don't know. I love it. I love it. I
Ah,
love
I
it.
get it. I
You
get why you
know.
like it.
And look at that. Like that looks like a Mazzucchelli. Like just crazy. Blah. There's blood. There's so much blood. I'm getting nauseous with the rebar, dude. I'm telling you, I can't handle it. I cannot do it. But yeah, just looking at just the different.
That's neat.
Hey, buddy, come here. I know. But yeah, just going through kind of like his origin, kind of falling like directly into his origin is gross. And then you basically have, and I like punishing Batman here. I like Punisher Batman
Yes.
basically.
Yeah. He he hurt this guy for like just doing that well, this guy's shoulder might bother him for years. It's like a reminder. It's like legally you're in your right, but I
Yeah.
don't have to. That doesn't sit with me. So
No, this is very uncomfortable, but I like that. I mean, again, this is building. This doesn't take away from, and what I like about this versus what I dislike about Chip Zdarsky Batman, where he kind of puts stuff backwards into continuity, and it may or may not be there. And then, by the way, it's not true. It's like you're coming up with this. This can literally fit inside a Batman year two and a half, maybe three. I don't know. And it fits. It fits before technically Black Mask, like Tom Mandrake Black Mask. So that's fine. So this is all good. And I like that he's very much like um he's just a mob boss. That's right. Also, yeah, the end of this, look at that. Just very couple lines, not many lines, you know.
but so is
Yeah.
this? So this is the end of the first story arc.
I don't know. I'm confused at this book because it is kind of wrapped up here. I don't
I'm like,
really know.
is this it? And
I
then
think
I
it's
see the
no, it's
last
12
panel.
issues, I think,
No, it's
right?
not. Yeah. So hopefully it builds to something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm ready for it. I just want to see. I think it's gonna be a real nice. It would be a real nice trade. I would like to see it if you give me a nice hardcover. Give me some. Give me some. Come on, don't. My cat's gonna knock everything down. Okay. So Dick Tracy Valentine's Day special. Which, if I didn't like the last Dick Tracy issue so much, I probably wouldn't have put this on the list. But I thought this was pretty great. Two stories. The first story is I know why. I kind of get it that you have so many balloons. I feel like it gets worse throughout the issue. I was getting tired because it's so pulpy. Like they just have to talk about every single thing.
Yes. Yeah.
A little too much because you got to show show don't tell. You're in a visual medium. But there's a lot of talking towards the end. So
It's almost like
it's a normal classic like R what they call RJO. So this is an RJO, it's RKO.
right instead of RKO.
Um, but
And there was
that's
a lot of Dick. There was a Dick Tracy radio show, so it's like almost like you could probably read this,
yeah,
and you can almost act it out like a radio show.
yeah. So there's a murder up front. You kind of know who it is right off. I didn't like it at first. I like the way that Dick Tracy's drawn in this future Mad Cave storyline. It's still taking place then, but they're not doing a Chester Gould like heavy. It's a bit more
Right.
realistic, but it also makes the murders and things a little bit more real. I can't wait to the next issue of Dick Tracy. I'm pretty excited about that. But just a normal, this is how it's going to be, really pure. Oh, something happened. All right, so I'm going to probably miss my date. There's the reveal, of course. It's a Mask of the Phantasm reveal, essentially, kind of. Um,
Yeah.
but I do like that, and then they get together. I like he shows up. Well, foolish guy. So the first
I
story,
like.
real nice and clean. Take it.
I have an interest. I don't really love a lot of old pulpy style pre superhero heroes, but I have a huge interest in them. If that makes sense.
Mm,
Like I like the Dick Tracy. I love the original Crimson Avenger. I love the spirit. I have my own character, the Professor Sapphire. Do you remember that? He's kind of a parody of
mm.
this type of proto superhero. But Professor Sapphire owes more to Crimson Avenger. But it's funny, like it's just like what's your costume? It's Green Hornets even this,
Right.
it's
It's
a
got a
hat
trench
and
coat.
it's a trench coat. If you take off the hat, then Warren Ellis would be writing these characters. That's
Well,
a trench coat
what
Warren
is
Ellis
your?
shoe.
Does he have like a mask or anything, or like? Because sometimes Green Hornet they do a face
Green,
mask.
Green yeah, he does like the mask, the domino mask as they call it.
Right.
You know, Spirit has the mask. Crimson Professor Sapphire does have a mask.
Is it a full
I
mask?
should put.
Because sometimes the Green Hornet will have the Green
I think
Hornet
it's a
Miss
domino
Fury
mask.
miniseries that is happening right now through Dynamite is which has I'm trying. I think it's Jorge Fornes covers or Borges covers. I forget. But yeah, the covers are real more iconic. The interiors are a little different looking, but
There, there
um,
was an anthology book Mark and I worked on called Doppelganger, and number five, every comic in this book was supposed to be a pre superhero comic, like the pre-Golden Age. What do they call it? The Platinum Age of comics, where it was
Mhm.
more like detectives and mystics and all these weird jungle
Pirates.
adventurers, pirates. So we had done one, and it's really good. I will eventually get it out there somehow again. There's only like 50 or 60 of these comics in existence for Doppelganger #5. Um, I'd like to get it out digitally for people to read. I was going to put my story on the Awestruck Comics page. I don't think I ever got around to it. I have to check. I think I wanted to get it colored because they're
Mhm.
all black and white stories. But I think we should get our stories colored and maybe
Oh,
re-put that
yeah,
book
I'd be
out.
curious to color that. Yeah, I'd be curious to kind of mess around with that.
Especially if you can get it
Um,
in a retro color style. Something that looks like
there are things I can buy in Procreate. There are different packs that some of the artists will actually sell. So that's pretty
interesting.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a couple Instagram guys that I know that I follow that have that same style, and then they'll kind of mention like, oh, if you go this, you can actually buy it. It's similar to like on GarageBand. You can go on GarageBand. There's certain actual artists who actually put up like packages of drums or a drum sound or drum kits or something like that. So it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I would love to do. I think that would be really really fun. I asked the guy who potentially has the pages somewhere. See, in my brain, and we talked about this before, my brain, your brain, we know roughly where things could possibly be. But I
Yeah.
asked for my original art because I've only ever really drawn what five was it 5 pages, 6 pages? I
Something
don't
like
know.
that. You
Like
took a Walt plot, right? It was our friend
yeah,
Walter
yeah.
Hackett
Initially, it was
plotted
supposed to
your
be like
story.
almost like an Eisner studio. It was supposed to be like
Eisner.
someone plotted
Who's
it
the other member of that? Who's
studio.
the other member of that studio?
Jack Kirby. No, Joe Simon. I don't know. I forget.
Iger. It was not
Oh,
Bob
that's right.
Iger, but Bob Iger is like his nephew.
Right, right,
Disney
right.
CEO Bob Iger. I forget. I know. I tell half a story here. It's the Eisner Iger Studios.
Oh, that's
So
right. That's right. That's funny.
that's funny.
But I asked Ian, who has the original art. I said, "Do you have? Can I have it? I have a space now in my office. I
Hmm.
was like, I could put up pages right there. Put all the pages up." And then he's like, "Oh, there's somewhere." And I'm like, "You got somewhere, some like
See,
I
here's the thing.
kind of know where everything is."
I think Milligan has his artwork because we only drew it on regular eight. I think Milligan drew his on 8.5 by 11 paper.
Yeah, I drew mine on
Oh no,
comic
no.
paper.
Did he draw? He might have. Never mind. He might have drew that. I'm mistaken. He did draw that full size.
Shh,
But
can't say.
Milligan has his. I don't know why. Oh, because you did it over Ian's house and then left it there, right? Didn't you go to his house and
I
just
went to
do
his
it
house
there?
to start it. Then I think I took the pages with me because I didn't know I was going to finish it or how it was going to work. And then I think we never were able to kind of do another meeting and go back together and like have different things like move around, or you were scripting it, or I was scripting, or I was drawing and someone
Yeah.
else was going to script it or letter it, and then it didn't go that way for most of
Now,
us. So
Milligan and I actually just wanted to do our own story where I completely wrote it and he completely drew it because Ian made fun of us for this, but we're kind of precious about our artwork. Like Milligan
mhm.
didn't want to see, because Milligan's probably the best artist of our friends who were there. So he didn't want to see someone else kind of ruin his artwork.
Right, ink
And
it or
I don't
something
blame
wrong.
him. Yeah.
Mhm.
But when I created, because we created a character, created a universe, for this character. So I just got so invested in this character. I didn't want to see someone else because even though I could have just plotted it, but like my jokes were very funny and direct and weird. Like I try to
Mhm.
write it really differently, and I make a lot of Irish jokes because I'm part Irish. I'm allowed to.
Right,
So I couldn't see someone else doing my story as good as I could do it. But I
right,
feel that way about a lot of things. I feel like I think Pete Hagen came up with the story idea, and then someone else scripted it. And he's like, "Oh, you think your story's better than that?" I'm like, "I do," because I think Pete
right,
Hagen would have
right,
scripted his own story better. Like
right, right,
it was
right.
just a weird. It was
Sure.
like I think people enjoy the journey more. I don't think there's any creator that liked someone. And I think Ian's full of shit. I don't think that happened as often as he thinks it happened. I think a lot of stories weren't done like that. He did
Right,
Marvel style, trying to do a Golden Age story. Now we're shitting on Ian. Ian, you're wrong here. That's not how
right,
the studios were done. The
right, right,
stories were
right.
written.
Yeah, but we know
Uh,
more. We know more than him. It's not really like we're telling him
we
he's wrong.
do
We're
know more than him.
we're factually more comic book intelligent than him. So it's not really an
Yeah,
insult.
it's not an insult. He's got good.
You
Yeah,
can work harder.
work
It's
harder.
what
So
you're
anyway,
interested in. It's what you're interested in. Like you can work harder. Like I have, we have, what do we have? We have our mini degrees. I have a degree on Batman. You have a degree on Superman, right? Like
yeah,
it's not,
right.
they're not real degrees. But
Not
like
real
if
degrees.
I'm not going to ask you if you say something about Superman, I'm not going to be like, I know that differently. Ian will. Ian will say, "Hey,
Ian will.
no, you're wrong, Rob. You didn't read 800 issues of Superman." And
But
you're
guess
like,
what? Sometimes, but if you say, Rob, I think this person might have did that. I'm like, oh, you could be right because I've read 2,000 issues of Superman. Maybe that one fact is blurred or,
right.
or fuzzed together with something else. So it
Probably not,
happens,
though.
you know.
Probably not.
You never know. You never know. And guess what? I'm no Mark Waid when it comes to Superman. That dude
Yeah,
knows more than me.
right. And that's okay.
Kind of, because
Yeah,
there's he's not great on the new stuff.
right.
So
No.
that's fine. So Dick Tracy, first
Dick
story,
Tracy.
good. I like the second story better.
I like the second story better, which was Steve Orlando, and Steve Orlando is tricky with Steve Orlando. Let me jump back here. I just want to see
Not
who.
related to Joe Orlando.
No, I have Brent Schoonover. So Craig Cermak in the first story. That's the Mad Cave Dick Tracy house style. That's basically the Boris style. So
Right, right.
so that's so I do like that editorially they're like, hey, this is the Dick Tracy style, okay? Because even here you're starting off, you're like, hey, Brent Schoonover, this is the Dick Tracy style, sir, please, okay? But
Mhm.
Steve Orlando, who has done some okay stuff here, a lot of times,
Yeah, no, he's
he
pretty
did
good.
Milk Wars. I want to say he did the that's what
Yes.
I remember him from. He
Well,
did Milk
he did
Wars,
that. He
which
did
was Doom
a
Patrol.
what was the
That was
book
the
he did? A
Young
set. It was
Animal
set.
Transformers.
He did a book set like 500 years in the future, but it wasn't called what we thought it was supposed to be called. It was like a book that took place like pre Legion of Superheroes, but maybe post Commandy. The hell was that book called? It was weird. They were like it was like this fight over Superman's cape or something. I kind of
Hmm.
forget.
Yeah,
It
I'll
was
have to
okay.
pop it in. Yes,
Yeah.
but Steve Orlando for the most part, and I feel like he only does mini things. He did a Nick Fury uh mini, but it was Nick Fury Jr. Aiko drew it.
All right.
It was pretty good. Like it was like I feel like everything I've read of him has been pretty good. But here, I probably liked it a lot because it turned into like
Yes.
this retro art style. So this I
And
thought
again,
was a bit more.
retro coloring that we love. This
Yeah.
is coloring was by Mark Englert. Mark
Oh, that
Englert
makes
colors
sense.
something else.
That makes
We
sense.
talked about him the other week. He had done capes with his biggest work that I know of is he drew capes and God War with Robert Kirkman.
What's funny, and I want to say that I know we talked about him recently, but I'm about 90% sure. If you remember when Argo came out, Heavy Metal had that art. They had
The,
the
the Lord
Jack
of Light,
Kirby art. But
right?
I want to say Mark Englert colored the art that was reprinted there, and they did prints of that Heavy Metal put out at cons in like 2004, 2005, and I can't find them. But the coloring on those prints are unreal. They're like half black light. They're really amazing. And I looked for them recently, and they're so expensive. It's like it's not possible. Even that issue of Heavy Metal, I can't find out in the wild. It's a bummer because they actually have like two different covers. One cover is a Kirby cover, and another cover is just by someone else who did the book. So I'm trying to find that cover. You can find the alternate cover, like I can't find it. I just can't find it anywhere. So on my magazine now my magazine bins that I'm hunting now. So, but yeah, I really love the alternate cover. Now here they did a little bit more of the nose, and that's kind of fine. But I like this. They do a little
Yeah,
more of the nose. I'm sure that 1931 is a
probably the year
reference.
the Dick Tracy comic strip started.
Yeah, pretty great. But it turns a little bit crazier. I like this though. I like it getting crazier. You would because again, what we're getting in the Dick Tracy book is we're going to get mumbles. We're going to get these prune face, but they don't look as they do in the movie, which is literally like kind of just taking the drawings directly and doing that. They're
Hmm.
doing the heavy caricature. So I like this. I like getting something else that's a little bit different. I love this. I love this coloring. I love that we get to see and that you can play in this. And
Yeah,
you could do a mini series like this. Give these guys a mini series. Do this. What if you
yeah.
did that?
I
I'm
sent
not
you
mad at
a
that.
I sent you a link earlier to a guy doing his own comic book called The Hunter. And it has
Oh
this
yeah,
style of coloring.
yeah, like an
I
'80s
re
flat. It's
Yeah,
it's because again, what's cool about this like dot coloring is that if you remember, I mean, the way that the guys drew it, they would draw. the shading in black, they can't depend on it not being there. So if you have that highlight there, it looks like you're seeing multiple colors. You're not. You're seeing one color here.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, just really now we're back to normal. Now we're gonna get okay. We're gonna Happy Valentine's Day. Let's go. So I do
I
like
just
that. It always kind
I
of comes
just
back to that.
yeah. I just sent you an image in chat of Mark Englert actually drew a Jurassic World poster. That's pretty neat looking. I don't know if you want to
Oh,
show it
nice.
later or not, but it's
Yeah.
just
Well, I'm just scared to mess it because I'm afraid to mess it up.
yeah, don't
So
mess with it. So look at this. A Justin Jordan comic. I don't think I've read a Justin Jordan comic since he did Green Lantern for a minute.
yeah, it's been a bit. So the this that's funny. I put this in the list. I was kind of excited to read this, and I didn't like this. I couldn't follow it because I think the character models are too close. I feel like I couldn't really follow it.
Okay.
So this guy's getting out of jail or some type of murder. He may have murdered his wife, the mom of I see his daughter later on. I just couldn't really follow it. So I don't know if you want. And then this guy, he's killing this guy at the end. I don't know. I couldn't follow this book like hardly at all. So I
The
don't
the
know.
one thing the one thing I'll add to it is that he's like, oh, I can't open this box because it's cursed and this thing's cursed and I got to do this magic. But also, it could all be bullshit.
Right.
Like, there's nothing in it in this book that makes you think magic is real. It's all perceived, I think, in this guy's head. So I
It's
think
all,
that was
yeah,
interesting. But like, I had read the one of the other books we're going to talk about, the serial killer book. I had read that before this, so I had
right.
enjoyed that book more than this book. So I don't know if I'm going to stick with this book or not. Like, it didn't quite get
Yeah,
me.
I'm not sure. Or maybe I need another issue because it
You,
wasn't full enough for me.
I think that's right.
Yeah. I'll try another one because again, I want we don't have enough listen, Justin Jordan, Cullen Bunn, Kirkman's kind of the kickoff, right? We need
Yeah,
more independent voices that are coming up with stuff. Aaron started as a main guy, as a main line. He started with a tryout story for Wolverine. His first work is literally an audition,
yeah,
and then he was in DC and Marvel for a bit. But where he flourishes most is like Southern Bastards or Bug,
which was
like
fantastic.
yeah. So, but like I feel like his home life stuff is more resonant for me. You know, I think he did a lot of research on Scalp, but that is still I never finished Scalped. I did like some of it as I was reading it, but it's depressing. It's so depressing. Scalp's depressed because I mean I don't know
Yeah,
that much about, of course, like why would I know about Indian reservations? But I feel like everyone's killing each other or there's just a lot of conspiracy. It was depressing, and I was like, I don't want to read this, so I stopped reading it at one point. I don't know if I'll get back to it. That's why I've never read like Sheriff of Babylon because I feel like that's super depressing too. It's going to be. I don't know if you ever read that. I never got to that.
no, but I want to.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so I may, I may give one more issue. I want to read a Justin Jordan book. I really like Luther Strode. I really like what was
Yes,
the one? Was it Spread? It was like disease. It was really gross. It was a gross one. I think it was called Spread. House Trauma, I believe. True. It was gross, but it was good. And I think there's a couple of books that he's done that I feel like even if I don't read them, I like that they're there. I like the concept that they're there. Um,
mhm.
so we'll see. I may go back to this. I kind of like the other book. I wanted this to be better because I like that other book, which we're going to read a little bit later. Because
Right.
I didn't know I would want true crime in a comic book. I don't think I want that, and then I
It's
do.
funny. I'm not interested in true crime until I accidentally catch my wife watching something or I hear part of it on a podcast. I'm like,
Yeah,
damn it, I do like true crime.
shit. But I
I
think
like
we're
true
too
crime, but
positive. We're very positive people, though. Like I feel like like it's hard. We have a lot of stuff that we listen to, whether it be
yes,
comic book stuff, whether it be comedians. I like
yeah.
process comedians. So this is probably book of the week if Bug Wars wasn't. This was pretty
Right.
pretty
There's
amazing.
so many things going on in this issue. It's like they'll show you a little something and then you want to know what happens next, but they go on to the next part of the story. Like, so each chapter of this book, not that it's broken up into chapters, you want
Hmm.
to keep going.
Well,
You
I
want to know
got
the next
a
scene.
little confused. I was going to initially when I was reading, I'm like, oh man, I'm going to complain about this because I felt that I couldn't keep the strands together. But then they all kind of like conclude or they're starting to
Right.
come together because they
Yeah, they
put
start to
three
coalesce in a
storylines
way.
together towards the end. You're like, geez. But I put the title page in here because only the first four, maybe five, are the main art, the main covers, right? All these other ones are incentive covers elsewhere. Because I know that the Raymond Gay one, my brother, that's the one that my brother got. So he got the
Oh, okay.
616 is that. So like all these over here are incentive covers. They're unknown comics.
Wow.
They're like there's a lot of others. So like
Right,
that's
right.
so it's
Tyler
cool that
Kirkham
they're
and
credited,
Mike
so
Choi.
that's interesting. Yeah.
Wonder
Well,
who's doing
The Jay
Livio's.
Anacleto one's really good. I don't know if you saw that one. That one's really good. And we kind of don't like well, not that we don't like Jay Anacleto, but he did the Marvel sequel, was Eye of the Camera. And we were
Okay.
like, why are we doing this? It was just like Cash Grab City.
Yeah.
Um, and it's very painterly. It's Mike Mayhew. It's Alex Ross to Mike Mayhew. It's like one.
Yeah.
And then he did, what was his book? Aria?
Yeah.
Aria
Aria,
per image.
which I kind of liked. I think I went back and reread it like 10 years ago. I'm like, oh, it's really nice artwork.
Yeah. Oh, it's really, hey, nice artwork. And what issue is this? This is issue,
17,
and what do we have? 25?
at least 24.
Uh,
So we got seven
uh,
more issues of Daniel Warren Johnson.
well, maybe just keep Jorge. I mean, if it's still going to be in Skybound, and it's still probably going to keep.
They're keeping the numbering, according to Kirkman. Like he wants to
Okay.
keep this going. So we're not getting a new number one. We're getting issue 25. It just might be written by someone else.
Mm,
Hopefully not Joshua Williamson. Hopefully, I need another Transformer guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really. Well, again, I just hope Jorge Corona just stays.
I hope so.
I hope this is a good paycheck, and I hope he just keeps staying.
I hope he's quick enough to do it and still give himself a little bit of time to do something else. Like to get
Yeah,
like if
yeah,
he
yeah.
like
Well, he does other stuff. He did Middle West, and he
yes.
does, so he does. And he just finished one, I think, with Scotty that I think is done now. That maybe I should, it's, go back. I thought I'm waiting for the Moon is Following Us to finish. I know that came out this week too, because Daniel Warren Johnson does like 3 or 4 pages usually per issue. He does like the beginning,
Right.
the end, and like a middle piece. Uh, but issue 6 came out, and that's kind of a sweet spot. I'm like, oh, cool. And I checked, and that is not the last issue. So I'm like, crap. So I don't know how long that is. I think it might be 8 or 9. But that I'll wait, and I'll read that together. But that is Riley Rossimo art. Um, so yeah, so this is very Geiger-esque. This is very like Aliens, with a person like living inside of
Yeah,
the
he is
ship.
molded into the ship.
Uh, which is he part
And
of Teletran One essentially?
yes. Yeah,
Okay.
like he's kind of partially powering it, but he also kind of doesn't agree with the Autobots, but he's more on their side than he ever has been in the past.
Yeah,
Um,
there's a lot
typically
of
in the comics,
allegiances that are blurred.
questionable. Yeah. Typically in the past, Thundercracker is the one who aligns with the Autobots. He has in the
Mhm.
past, at least in the IDW universe. But you
I
just
wonder if
feel the pain he
does that
has
come from
for his
something?
brother.
Do you think that was in an episode or something where he was? Because it is. I feel like it is something. But
It
you're
is
right.
something. They've had other Transformers change sides. Most Blitzwing changed sides in Transformers Headmasters.
Hmm.
The last three-part storyline on the American cartoon, Blitzwing
Hmm.
became an Autobot, and believe it or not, that was actually going to be Shockwave. But they said, "Oh well, we still sell Blitzwing toys and not Shockwave because I think Shockwave was like a rights issue because other people had the rights to Shockwave mold.
Oh my
That's why
God,
you see him at Radio Shack. Remember Shockwave?
that's
Be
right.
like this
Yeah.
gray version of Shockwave. Um,
Such a
and
hodgepodge
I think
of figures.
Octane, the other triple changer, was like not really bad.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah,
but then again,
I had Blitzwing. I had Blitzwing when I was a kid.
Blitzwing was
Um,
awesome.
so here we have a pacifist, which we kind of knew, Beachcomber, and it's kind of funny his name's Beachcomber, right?
Yeah,
It's like literally just like this hippie beach person, but who saved the day last issue, the issue before.
right.
But here essentially has this whole philosophy, and then literally has like an aha moment where they show like, okay, it was total chaos, but then he just sees that we're all meaningless. It's all like, and all of a sudden our small conflict seems so meaningless. I just couldn't take part anymore. Fighting only happens when we choose to. And then I like it. There's just literal like disagreements, and RC's like, well, hold on. What if there's,
Yeah,
fight or die, and then like they're literally having this philosophical conversation, and then it's going to be, then I think I cut the page where it's just a bunch of fire at them, and it's literally Ultra Magnus, like
Yeah.
who is what he's a PTSD like Vietnam vet basically in the
Yep.
woods.
Yep. He was. Yeah.
Holy crap! Like there's so much going on there, and it's still unclear where Sparkplug is just inside of Optimus Prime. And we
Right.
don't know exactly, and they do mention that later. They don't. They as Optimus are like, what happened at the dam? Who was that? What happened? And he's like, and then something else has to happen, right? So I think it's kind of cool too that they can't get to it. Um,
So much character in these
there's so many
characters.
characters in this, yeah,
Well,
and
there's
and
so
their
many
faces
characters,
too.
but yeah, and they all have like he's doing a great job, like different personalities and different things. I
Yeah,
love it.
just the subtlety of like hit the side uh of Cliff Jumper's head. It's like half like caved in, like and he
Yeah.
always draws it like that. And it's like I keep wondering when they're going to repair Prime, right? Because Prime still has like the busted out window, and he still has his Megatron arm. I'm like, they can't. They're just not getting around to like getting him a different arm or making him a different arm. But I don't know if it's that easy. I don't really
No.
remember on the show they didn't dismember people's arms or they didn't like take
Well,
stuff off or
well,
decapitate
I think
them.
they're basically sticking with the fact that Cybertronian metal is better than Earth metal, and they don't have any Cybertronian metal laying around. You
Yeah.
know, you don't just want to rebuild Prime with like a Pontiac door. You
Right,
know,
right, right. Yeah, it's not. Listen, we live in New Jersey where there's just hodgepodge cars driving around. There's Honda Civics. They're just six or seven different cars together, one piece
yes,
at a
they're all
time.
they're all Frankenstein.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's good. I always love Wheeljack. I had Wheeljack when I was a kid. Um, although were these wings on him? Were they underneath him or something? I feel like if I had them, I
Well,
smashed them off or something.
Trax had the wings underneath of them.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
I
know.
had
I don't
Jazz
remember.
too, but Jazz I transformed once and I like twisted something and I
Did you?
broke it. Yeah, he was easy to
My Met
break.
my
Everybody.
Metroplex and Mirage both broke eventually because they were on a very small pin that would turn their whole waist around.
Yeah, my Metroplex split in half. Yeah, I know
Yeah, that's
exactly what
what
you're talking
happened.
about. Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about. I do love that Jorge Corona is doing the Daniel Warren Johnson tradition of like half transforming panels, which may or may not be in the
Yeah,
script, but I love
we
that.
need that
I mean, just
because
every page of this was kind of
you got to
insane.
show that they transform.
Uh,
Sometimes that was part of my problem with Simon Furman is you read a Simon Furman Transformer comic and nobody would transform.
they're just walking around. Yeah, they're walking around
Walk,
and talking, walking and talking.
which is great,
Um,
but you need a little of both.
yeah. Well, I didn't zoom in there, but you can see that Warpath's like half arm, like
Yeah,
is
the tight
like
treads.
yeah, and then like I zoomed in on this because there's like Rat Bat, and just look at how many lines that is. Not a lot, you know what I
He
mean? It's crazy.
he was always talkative, which is crazy because
Yes,
in the cartoon he would just screech like a bat.
right.
But in the old Marvel comic, he was like a senator. He was like leader of the Decepticons at one point.
Yeah, yeah. I just like all the action. This is the best action. I feel like we say that almost every issue, though. I feel like I was like, oh, this is the best Ori Corona issue, and this is the best. Like, I feel
Yeah,
like now, like, while stuff that's going on is he eclipses a lot, and I guess it's something that maybe Daniel Warren Johnson still gives him some type of layouts or something. I'm not really sure how it works. I know that I feel like Bendis did that for a while. I think he said he did it for a while on Daredevil to
some
Maleev, and Maleev's like, yeah, no, I'm an artist. Like, you don't need to give me this stuff. Like, or so, like someone
yeah.
turned him
Yeah,
down. Like, you don't need to do this. Um, but yeah, just crazy. Now I knew something was going to go on here. I like because this was in that there's going to be a new Autobot. There's going to be a new Transformer rather.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were going to get a brand new guy or we were watching the creation of something we already know.
Right, right, right. Because he has basically like a backpack full of like other Transformers sparks.
Yes.
So I wasn't sure we're going to get multiple. We're going to make new ones, make multiple. Here's also a testament to like how good Hori Corona is to draw tons of stuff, but that you're literally following the action, and then you just have like little you have
Yeah.
Starscream just hanging out, you know. And
Scourge
yeah,
just
if you're
hanging
gonna
out of
have
Astro
Seattle,
Chain,
you gotta knock
the
down
Space
the
Needle.
yeah, so that's
Yeah.
fine. Look at this action. Jesus God. Oh, look at that boom
Yep.
back there. I didn't even notice that at
Boom.
first. Look at that.
That's because it's part of the art, Mark.
It is.
Probably. It looks good.
Yeah.
And you know what it is? That punch just looks like Rock'em Sock'em Robots, you know?
Yeah, I feel it like this next page. I feel like
We're
that should
lucky
have been
we're
an
lucky
alternate cover.
Bruticus's head isn't like
Maybe
up,
they'll do a
you know,
reprint of
up
that. Oh, right, right, right. That you're saying that like it just like pops
like
up.
a Rock'em Sock'em Robot punch,
Right,
yeah.
right, right. Because Bruticus's head is that was that's a combiner. They're both two
Yeah.
combiners, right?
Just
So
yeah,
just
two
knock them
combiners
off.
fighting.
Just knock it off. Because I think the heads weren't part of the thing. That just had you just have to put the head on, right?
You just have to
Is
put
that
the head
the
on, right? Right.
thing? That's so stupid. That was like the opposite of uh like Voltron, right? Voltron, they had the head as part of the robot.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
us, they were like, I don't know, just throw a head on that thing. Throw a head on Devastator, no
Head
problem.
what was it?
Headmaster.
Head on. That's the Japanese holler when they put their headmasters on. Head on.
Oh my God, really? That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's horrible. Yeah,
I,
I
I
would
think
have
it might have
liked
been in their
this as an
bumpers.
alternate cover, or that might be like a second print cover, but or if you had like Hori Corona like redraw that as the cover or something, or like
I can
close
see
to
that.
that,
Yeah.
that would be really, really fun. This I thought I zoomed in on this because I don't know this makes sense. All right. Go on something and I'll carry it, right? This doesn't make sense to me because I just don't know if Jazz is going to crush all of them by accident, right? Because I don't know if he's going to know the body physiology of humans if he's just going to kill everyone by accident. Just gonna,
Also,
like
they're really big there. Like,
mm,
Jazz should be able to carry like three people because a Porsche
oh
is not a big car. You're
right,
looking at he looks like he's like as big as like a ferry.
yeah, but I don't know.
It's fine.
Yeah, but it's Transformers like right, it's Transformers physics, Transformers like because like here Prime if Prime's standing next to Spike, uh Spike's gonna be pretty like not even to his knee, right? So they must have some type of size change, yeah. So I'm not sure if the scale is right here. But hey, man, if that's the problem that we have, this is what we're nitpicking. There's
That's
zero
not a
problem with
problem.
the story, but I love this. So this is what does this look like? What's that black like vanny type of it was like almost like an SUV. I'm trying to think that's what I think it kind of looks like.
There is something.
Yeah, I feel like I had that figure. But you give him a sword, he's got, extra. It's a lot of stuff. It's again,
That's
I
right.
wonder if they both kind of drew this and you know, but yeah,
Right.
Shredhead.
Is this like just a fan creation? Maybe one
Right.
of them had, Daniel Warren Johnson, I think is a metalhead. I think he loves heavy
Oh yeah.
metal, so
Yeah.
like this makes sense. Makes sense to
Yeah.
have a heavy metal transformer, Shredhead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, wonderful. I'm very excited
And
for it.
and
Again,
does Hasbro already
scared.
have the toy in the works?
I don't know. Wasn't there something recently? Yeah, I want to say that there was an interview with Daniel Warren Johnson recently where he talked about different versions of things that are going to be in and eventually made. So, or it might have been Kirkman. Kirkman might have been saying that. So
I
that's
feel like
something.
there's a Prime toy with a Megatron arm.
I don't know.
I feel
Yeah.
like that's a thing,
Yeah. I'll take it.
or
I'll
it's
take it.
going to be.
Uh, this got me excited as a Patrick Gleason cover. So Amazing Spider-Man 67, Legacy
Yeah,
961.
really nice, really nice cover.
So 8 issues, but you're having one or two extra issues. The extra issue of this storyline, Death Spider-Man dot something or other, like 60,
Right.
64,
It was
65. That was pretty good.
65 death and 68 death. I think 68 has an additional issue.
68 death is going to be Mark Buckingham. So we're excited to see that.
That's cool.
His return, and the one article I saw about his return, Amazing Spider-Man. I'm like, he's never drawn Amazing Spider-Man. He only ever drew Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Right.
Great. Paul Jenkins. Paul Jenkins. That was a beautiful, what a wonderful run that was.
Yeah.
And then I feel like because they needed to make it more commercial, they like kicked Buckingham off, and then they brought Ramos in and they rebooted it, and it was
It
never
didn't. It
as
didn't
good.
fit right.
It was
They
never as
should
good.
have booted. Yeah. It was fine.
It was
I
fine.
still liked it. But
Spider-Man's not in this book, by the way. Spider-Man's in like 5 pages, okay? And I hate the Spider-Man too. So this is Justine Ireland getting a great gig where she can just write 5 to 6 of the 8 part. because we saw a solicit for, I guess, close to the last part, I think.
I think we saw the Frank Miller variant for issue 70.
Come on, man. I just hate it. Okay.
All right. I like
This should be a
this.
bigger deal. Listen, I think I'd be, I think you should be a little happier. This Peter Parker's so crappy. It's so not
Yeah.
Peter Parker, I don't think, you know.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
if
don't
this
think he
was
gives up.
I
It's
don't
not
care
very
about
Peter
any of
Parker
the
like.
Sidorak stuff. I think it's beyond boring. They're all exactly the same. I also think that the placement of
It's
this
too
portal to
long.
look at is really weird. He's just looking at like his penis. It's like I'm looking. It's just like really weird that it's there. Could be anywhere. Could draw it anywhere. I don't mind the Ars Andrea Bricado. Okay, that's fine. I think everything is very
Yeah.
competent, and I feel like this is a waste. It's a waste of Nico Hendrickson. If you're gonna get him, give me 2 pages. You get me 1 page. Give me 2 pages. I feel like they did his flashback with that, and then Nico drew not the Aaron run. Nico drew a little bit of, and that's the Pride of Baghdad person, also
Right.
doing that free comic that neither of us are reading that Brian K. Vaughan is doing on Panel Syndicate that
Right.
this guy's drawing. But I just feel like it's a waste. This guy drew most of Donny Cates's run after the Jason Aaron run, which is a very good run also. So a lot of good run, a lot of good Doctor Strange runs, a lot. I just don't. Yeah, again, I just don't care about this. You know, so they're gonna make out. You know,
It does look like they're about to make out.
but I feel the same way as like you gotta snap out of this, Peter. Yeah, please. And then they talks about the X Men, and then literally it's just a straight up X Men issue, which is fine because I feel like we need to see if we're trying to reestablish all this from the ashes stuff. They should be in more than this book. They should be in a lot of different things. So far, they're not. This I think is the only real book that they've been in. And also, this is a very defined team. Now that you think about it, now we're on issue 11 of this run, 11 and 12. The other team, which is more of the X-Men 97 team, hasn't done anything. I can't name any plot point that they've done. Like they haven't
No,
done anything. The Jed McKay, this is the X-Men. This is the X-Men for me.
I agree.
Um, the other one, they haven't done anything. They talk about stuff and they sit around a campfire and they talk about as Rogue's the leader and Wolverine's going to leave. Okay, that's been the same story for a long time. And I went right into the X-Men because again, this issue was half X-Men. Here we go. Here's the X-Men again. Also, Stegman not on this again. So now we're talking. I think Stegman's drawn 3 of these books so far. 3 out of 11. I'm pretty sure this guy now eclipsed him. I think he's drawn
But
7 to 8.
I just feel like he's just like, yeah, I'll give you my Stegman, and we're getting it.
Yeah,
Because it's just he's doing a good job.
I like
I
this
like
guy.
his beast.
I think this guy, and
Diaz, right?
again,
Yeah.
yeah, it's Neto Diaz, and then what's funny is on Uncanny, there the B artist there is getting more play for me too. Like I feel like that
Yeah.
person's drawing more
Same.
than Dave Marquez, and that's fine. That's fine. That's Javier Garan on that. But like it's so cool. It's kind of cool that I know the B artist, right? Normally we're
Yeah.
like, bah, but the B artists were like this. I like that. It's a little bit different, but I feel like again, and I love Corsair. Period. I don't
Yep.
remember there was a callback when Magic attacks Corsair, and it's like you did this to us on New Mutants, and it was like New Mutants 19 or 2019 #1. I'm like. I don't remember if that
Somebody,
was. I guess that was.
you
I
know
guess
what?
that was
Good
the
on
Hickman.
them. Good on them for referencing it. Because
He
I don't
does.
remember.
I think Jed McKay. I think pulls a lot because again, that's the Marauders ship. So he's like, we're not taking a Blackbird. We're gonna take this ship because it's gonna be more. I think he mentioned it's more agile, so we could take this ship
Yeah.
instead. I'm like, good. Just
It's a
take
cool looking
different
ship.
pieces. Yeah, it's cool. It's really
It
nice.
looks like a train. I like
And
it.
he calls her Kate there too, because when he's referencing that's Kate Pride, who was Kitty Pryde's like pirate thing, which tracks, but no one cared on that book. What book was that? What it was an X-Men book, right? I forget what it was. Was that? I don't remember. Whatever her book,
Pause this.
whatever she was Excalibur.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Mark, pause this for a second. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Recording, end it, and cut it out.
Um. So, and this is Space Whale stuff. Is this from Jason Aaron's
Right, right.
stuff?
I mean, it predates it by a long time too.
Yeah, but
Right. I mean,
I
this is
just I just equate space stuff. I equate the space whales to Jason Aaron just because I think he used them really well in like War of the Realms. But I know it predates that. But
Okay, good.
so yeah, so we got some Kree Skrull stuff going on. And I do like
The whole
that.
mishmash is more than just Kree and Skrull. It's all sorts of.
I
Where's the
listen.
broccoli people?
Yeah, I like where's the broccoli? Yeah, I think just having a lot of this. I still don't, you know, uh, I'm fine with this. We'll do all this. And then boom.
Alpha
Now,
Flight,
I feel like Alpha Flight, just look at this for a second, right? So we have,
right?
is that Namorita? I don't know who that is. I guess maybe
Mer I thought
Namora.
she was dead. No, was it Marina?
I feel like, oh yeah, but I feel like Alpha Flight is always about dead and resurrection. I feel like is it
Maybe.
Heather Hudson, or I don't know who any of these people are right now.
Right. So we
I
got,
know
is it
Buckus.
Vindicator? Is it Guardian? Is it slightly larger Puck? He doesn't quite look small. There is the
Yeah,
bird. Is bird supposed to be Northwind or whatever? Wouldn't it
nah,
have a white beak? I don't know. I don't know.
uh, I don't know, but we'll see.
Don't
But
know.
yeah, so I like that, but I like that they're an issue, and I almost feel like issue 12 is the Alpha Flight issue 12 have X-Men in it. I feel like that's the thing. I feel like
Maybe.
there's a little bit of something in there, but there we go. Get another Stegman cover. Thank you so much. All right.
Good.
So here we go. Now, Those Not Afraid #2 from Dark Horse. This is back to the true crime stuff, so kind of all over the place. I understand the Glenn Fabry covers because it makes it feel like the Vertigo. It makes it feel uncomfortable. Even the next issue cover looks really gross and uncomfortable.
Right.
But I would rather this book have this cover, just because I feel like this design is really good, and this is the main artist, Patrick Piazzalunga, Kyle Starks. Very uncomfortable. I didn't realize when I'm like looking through this, I'm like, what does this look like? What does this look like? And like right here, right when I saw this, I
Yeah.
was like, oh, looks like Norm Brayfogle. I don't know if I mentioned that on the first issue, but that looks so much like a Norm Brayfogle, especially with the ink flourishes and stuff here.
That one really does. That panel, yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's like ridiculous, ridiculous. So whole basic like broad stroke plot of this is there's two serial killers that are going for the record. There's a podcaster whose best friends, uh, her best friend is, and the husband of her best friend is one of
Right.
the
Is
serial
the one
killers,
of the serial killers.
and then he knows who the other serial killer is because he caught him stalking him last week. I guess that's pretty good. I'm literally putting timeline to this
Yeah.
comic book, right? That's pretty fun because it feels real. It feels like again very realistic, and I actually I don't think I put a lot of pages up because there's so many gruesome like deaths because they just racking them up now.
Yeah,
They're in like a race.
they're both trying to beat the record of the prior record holder who,
Blah. This is issue
yeah.
2. This is only 4 issues. Yeah, I didn't even put any more because I didn't want to. There's a lot of deaths and just bad, but
Okay.
very uncomfortable. But the podcaster, it got introduced because he knew the waiter. The waiter being, when they went to this like bar restaurant, the waiter is the other serial killer. So he brings around like their friends, like, oh, come and sit with us. And I don't know if that's the
Yeah,
same night
yeah.
or a different night, but
And then
he's
he
trying to get the true crime podcaster, together with
hooked,
him,
yeah,
and
hooked
then
up
they
with the
do hit it
waiter
off,
serial
and I'm like,
killer.
oh God. Um, the only thing I didn't put in here is that I like the end of this because I feel like there have been some true crime stuff where accidents happen,
Yes.
and so literally, um, one of the serial killers' cars is out there, and he's about to go to his car, and someone backs up into his parked car, and then they open
Yeah.
up the trunk. He's trying to keep closing the trunk, and the cop comes there, and he's like, well, let's see. All the supplies are in the back. There's like rubbing alcohol, rope.
There's rope, there's saws,
It's
you know.
ridiculous,
It's a
and
serial
there's
killer
potential
camping
blood.
kit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So there's a lot of stuff back there. So he's trying, and he's like, and then he gets arrested. He's mad. He's getting arrested for this dumb situation. And then you see the other one. You're like, okay, well now the first thing you think of is, well, now the other one's going to hit the lead. The next
Right.
2 pages is him getting caught, and you're like, shit. So
He gets
that's
caught in a trap.
yeah.
They set up a trap for him. Like they figure out the type of people he's killing,
Mhm.
and he gets caught in a trap. And I'm like, wow, I did not expect this to go like that this fast. I thought like,
It's issue
oh,
2.
another
Yeah.
issue of them out competing each other or the further dating. No, issue 2. That's
Yeah,
progressive
this is only
storytelling.
5. This is only 4 because
Okay.
the in the preview it said, they showed the next cover and they said this the second to last issue. I'm like, 'cause I thought it said last issue. I'm like, no, it's three. Like I was like mad. I would like this to be five, but it's going to be what it's going to be. I don't know if you could do a sequel to it, but like just if this team could work together again, I was pretty pleased with that.
Yeah.
Um, back to our main line. This was of course always near the top to read. So this is Juan Rodriguez, right? This is
Yeah.
Juan Rodriguez coloring.
Coloring.
Um,
This is Rob Liefeld's final Deadpool and Marvel comic.
he's my favorite colorist, and I do like. I think this person, and I hope that this person is doing the Youngblood. I think he does and adds a lot. Some great. There's a little bit of Kirby dots back there, kind of, because you can tell that their ink. It's not just a flourish. Um, I like the specs, and just a wonderful pose. Uh, hmm. I don't. You know what? It's possible they didn't all move over, or they didn't come from my cloud. I know it took more than one picture of this thing. Um, so let me see. Is it over and other? I don't know what
Everyone
happened
close your
here.
eyes.
Yeah, I don't know. We might have to do a re-record on that. All right, let's pause it. All right, let's go and do the rest of with this, and then we might have to go back and then we'll have to
All right.
insert a different
That's
video of
fine.
that. So my bad. Um, or it's the cloud's bad. I've been fighting with the cloud to get stuff from my iPad to the cloud. So okay, absolutely. I'm gonna take a quick pause on Deadpool.
On the Deadpool team
Bye.
up, and we'll talk about Absolute Batman, number 5. First off, powerful cover, powerful stance.
Yeah, there's
You
every
know,
cover was really good. I was at Final Boss in Lawrenceville yesterday, and I was looking at all the covers, and there was a James Harren cover that was like day glow and crazy, and I was like, oh, like we looked at that previously, and I was like, geez, like all the covers are good. So it would be really difficult if I was in the paper market per se on new books on like what I would do, because there's like three covers. There's also like an Ian Bertram cover that's ridiculous on this one as well.
right?
This could be the trade cover really because you got all the players, right? This could easily
Yeah.
be a trade cover.
You got Alfred
I
and
like
Black
original.
Mask, a good cityscape. I love the bat boots, dude. I just think they're awesome looking.
Yeah, I feel like every time I see this costume, that it's doing something else. I mean, with this, there's a lot of costume stuff, you
It
know.
looks like something. It looks like did Nighthawk have boots like that in Marvel? Like the blue costume Nighthawk?
Maybe the
You know,
Defenders
Squadron
Nighthawk.
Supreme, right?
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
Yeah, Defenders Night. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe I
Maybe.
don't know. This is seeing the rain come down that way is pretty cool. Um,
Somebody
that,
pointed out that they like that it's called the Zoo. Like we have gonna have it like something about Zack Snyder's other Batman runs is he did separate them each into storylines that could be collected in trades, you know. But like
right.
they have it like the Zoo. Like we know Zack Snyder storylines. That's the Court of Owls. We know it as
Zero
like each
year.
one of his stories.
Yeah.
Right, right. So he's doing it here, and I think that's a smart move. You know, people forget that year one was like Batman 408 through 411, something like that.
Hmm.
You know, they
Right.
just think, oh, they always think it's like probably a Batman year one miniseries. That just wasn't the case.
Right. I think
But
pound for pound, you're getting the most panels in this book. In
yes,
every any book, period, you're getting if you're getting, and you're not getting like just throwaway panels. There's zero throwaway panels. Everything has a, like that could easily be a splash page. It is not, you know.
yeah,
That could be a double spread splash page right here. That could be the double spread. It's not. Um, just like a ton of detail, and you can tell he's just doing it because he really wants to draw that way. Like he's not doing
hmm
it because like he's being told to do it per se. I feel like there's a lot of good collaboration between the two.
it's like he has a
Um,
panel to draw, and he draws the hell out of that panel.
Now what's
And that
weird is
panel, like
that
you said, what?
is is the because we're having trouble. Well, I'm having trouble with Absolute Superman because Absolute Superman doesn't have a different color when it goes to flashback. When just talk to each other. You know what I mean? This is very even Wonder Woman doesn't do that. It doesn't have another color. This makes it very easy. Makes it so
Yeah,
easy. It should be an easy, relatively like filtery thing to do. They should all be adopting the same type of make their own tropes. Of course, flashback's going to be there. You're gonna have Gordon talk to a young Bruce Wayne. Gotcha. Seen it. How you gonna do it a little
hmm
bit differently? Like just it's literally him telling him to do something practical. Do something with your life. Don't go, you know, uh, This
Yeah,
I,
and it
I
makes the
couldn't
flashbacks.
track. Yeah.
It makes it so much better when
Well,
you
it's
have a
right.
page
It's
like
right here.
this.
Yeah, right there you go. Exactly. Proof positive. I wasn't tracking this initially when I was looking at it, just because it's so close on the light, you know.
Right.
But this kind of that's again almost a callback to Dark Knight, where Joker just sets like the money on fire, he doesn't give a shit. This is kind of someone. This is also kind of a big fu to like this is like Scott Snyder's fu to like I will not give him money. I'm not gonna give him money. Money doesn't
Right.
mean anything to him, which is also really cool. So um, look at that. That's again that could be the cover. That could be a trade cover, or you cover the bat signal, but very impactful. This action on the bottom here is that's crazy. That's crazy. And I would imagine that he's drawing the woo woo, like just one, two, three, four. Like he's not drawing the same. He's not drawing the same characters running away here, right? All the black masks.
Yeah,
That's a
they're
crazy
all
fucking
different.
mask, dude. And I like
It
that
is.
his black mask is different. You know, it's like a big helmet. With like, ugh, blah. But yeah, I just like all the lines on this is like really something. And then this it becomes really like this is such a violent book. And I love the crazy violence here at the end. Oh, okay. This is the guy that he cut his hand off. So he's trying to come back for revenge here.
Mm.
Payback time. And then
And then spikes. I got
Jesus
spikes. Don't
God.
forget.
Jesus God. But it is
It's
still in the tradition of Batman because like those long spiked that's kind of like the Kelly Jones spikes of the Kelly Jones spiked ears.
mhm.
So there's a lot of Batman tradition in here as well. One, two, three, four. I mean, God, look at all those panels. Yeah, and you see it kind of
He's
you see the money burning away as part of it as well. Like you putting that in there to kind of remind you that it's falling away. In line with him losing, which is also pretty cool. Put that in there. Because remember, we this Sionis was established in one or two of the first couple issues where he's just breaking people. He had the big guy fight. Remember, he was breaking his arm.
yeah.
It took him apart. It was horrible. So, yeah. So it's not strange that he's taking apart Batman here, and yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And even
It's
that,
so fluid.
that's that
It's
that's
so he's so limp there. It's great.
that's the callback. Yeah, that's the Dark Knight callback of him shooting that out. That's been there, and that's really fun. Look at like oh yeah, so here we go. So
Yeah.
we got the
Slight
whoosh,
parachute, but it's not enough.
boom, bracka boom. Right? Come on now. Come on.
And he gets
Come
run
on now.
over.
Yeah. But it is it is interesting that Gordon uh lets him go, which is hereditary. You're gonna let
Yeah.
the Batman go. If your last name's Gordon, you're letting Batman go.
Let him go.
So
Hand him back his mask.
is the first storyline six? We know?
I do not know.
We don't really know. Yeah, and that's okay. Again,
Five. It doesn't matter. 5 or 6.
right. But every issue so far, even the fill-in issue, was still pretty. And I think every issue of next issue of everyone else, I think, is a fill-in, except for this. I think we had our fill-in there. I think we're good
All
on
right.
this for a bit. Yeah, excellent, excellent, excellent. Yeah, I just zoomed in on like, look at that crazy Batmobile. It's Optimus Prime. Like, boop. It's monster truck. It's you know what I mean. It's
Yeah,
it's
it's a
it's
construction vehicle. It's something you see. You see those pictures of the person standing next to the tire, and they don't even reach like the first inch of the tire. It's crazy.
yeah, yeah. Deadpool, Wolverine. There's Strife there. This is Joshua Cassara. I
Yeah,
can't
really,
really
really good
tell.
art.
Yeah, I think the art's similar to it's funky. It's a little Doug Mankey. It's a little like Lana Francis Yu kind of
hmm
smashed up
hmm
a
I like
bit.
the cape in the bottom corner. Looks like a Jay Lee cape almost,
Yeah, it's fallen off him a little bit, but it's like it's
straped
yeah,
over. And
yeah.
where they're at, it's like Bat Cave-ish, but you can see the T-Rex. It's actually because they're in Dakota, which is the Badlands,
Hmm.
which is where we found incredible T-Rex skeletons. So that's interesting to have it there.
Oh, I see. Right, right, right. Okay. Um, this was the only bummer of the issue. is that you're going to show me this like costume and he doesn't take it. He's got to take
Well,
it. You know,
is it
I'm
about
sure
taking
it's
it
going to
or
come
is it
back.
about did he already use it?
He already used it. That's the, yeah. I feel like he already
So it
used
doesn't
it
have a
in
memory
a
of that.
flashback or something. So, but still, I want to see that. You know what I mean? You're teasing me
Yeah.
there. Um, I don't know. I don't know if Kasara is like a fan of like dinosaurs and stuff, but like he had a pretty good time, I believe, with some of the stuff he was doing here.
Yeah, this is a
Uh,
neat looking. Because Strife's just taking these fossils and mutating the hell out of them, making these awesome dinosaur kaiju. It kind of gave you that planetary number two feel. Remember that
hmm,
planetary number two where Cassidy draws to go to Island Zero and it's like the Godzilla
yeah,
Island.
yeah,
That was a great issue.
yeah,
But we're
yeah.
talking
This
about
it,
this great issue.
yeah. I love this like when the Winnebago showing up too, and like friggin' Maverick. I love Maverick, dude. And I think Maverick's friggin' awesome.
That for school.
I just like I like that whole what was that what was that band
Team
called?
X.
Yeah, yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, the whole Wolverine, Sabretooth, Maverick, John Wraith, Mastodon.
Uh,
Mastodon. Nobody ever talks about Mastodon. He was
yeah, I
just
don't
like a big
remember.
dude. No. He died.
Yeah.
I think
So they
he.
get
I
him,
think.
but why would he be, I guess maybe he's going back and forth. So, but why would so he gets kind of out of his brainwash here,
Right.
Deadpool. But like I guess he's going to go back in the brainwash because I think the next issue. Look at that. Look at This reminded me a little bit. Was did Null drive? Did he float on stuff like this? Sort of. I'm thinking they
Yeah, he
gave
had
me
like a
Null
big.
vibes
Yeah,
because he
Null
had a
had a
big.
big dragon, a
Yeah,
symbiote dragon looking thing.
yeah. So that felt a little like once I saw that, I'm like. But overall, I mean, again, it's a fun book. It's so late. It's late. It should have been out. If this book was out, I mean, again, not that it really matters. I mean,
I don't
no one's
know if
going to the
this book
comic
is.
stores.
I don't know if this book's late. Or are you talking about late? Like they should have had the series out when
This
the
should have
movie
been
came
out
out.
as the movie came out.
Right.
Period.
I agree with
The
that.
first trade should have been out when the movie came out.
Well,
But
no, you had that other miniseries when the movie came out, right? The one with the Adam Kubert, Joe Kelly, right? Wasn't
nobody
that
cared
three
about it.
issues?
Yeah, but no, it didn't. That was yeah, it was World War III, but that one just like didn't land at all. I don't know, it didn't land for me. I thought it was bad. I thought it was written
Nah.
bad,
This
drawn
lands for me.
good. Yeah. Yeah, you should kind of take the pulse. But see, that's the thing is I feel like Marvel is they're going like, okay, well here's what should work, right? On paper, Hickman, Capullo should work, right?
Yeah.
On it doesn't. On paper, Joe Kelly and Adam Cooper should work. It didn't. I'm not going to blame either artist. Well, I'll blame a little bit Capullo because I just don't think it's doing the best work there. But I don't think Andy Adams never phoned in ever, ever. So
Capullo excels when it's dark, not the middle of the day.
right, right.
Capullo excels with the heavier anchors.
He's
Tim
not being written to
Townsend's
his strengths.
hold it back.
Yeah,
And he's not being written to his strengths, correct.
right.
Um,
Adam can
and Joe
draw
Kelly,
whatever.
Adam can draw whatever, but Joe Kelly has a thing. It's the thing I hate about Bendis when they write too. There's too many pages. If you look at those books, where the story is told across, it's like a double page, but instead of a splash, the story is being told across the two pages. And I don't think that works in comics. Like people keep trying it, I just never enjoy that.
Yeah, I
I don't know
never
why.
enjoy it. Yeah, I never really
It
have a
does. It
good
doesn't
time with it.
work.
Yeah, give me a Hayden Sherman page where even if it's three Batman movements, I'll take that.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
Also, don't give me the page. I don't like. I guess Bruno Redondo did it a ton, and everyone liked it in Nightwing. But it's like here's the
Yes.
city, and he's just going like this, and it's like okay, I've seen the raid too. I don't need to see like a cross section of a building. That's not exciting to me. I just don't. I don't care
I
about
think
it.
I think it works the first time, the first couple times he did it.
Yeah, it's just like I just like this guy's art, man. It's chunky and gnarly, and I
No,
think
it's
he
hard.
did.
It's
I
awesome.
think he in the Krakoa era he did X Force, and he was kind of the breakout from that. And they were like, "Why isn't this guy drawing X Men?" So I
That
agree.
his X-Force stuff was phenomenal, and the coloring on that book was great. It's not the same colors, is it? And that
It
color was like
it
really,
probably is. Guru effects.
I
It
don't
may
know.
be. Maybe.
It enhanced that book.
There's your boy.
Yeah,
Your boy.
Death of Copra number
I was
two.
going to ask you to screenshot this because I didn't really know because I didn't read it. I just kind of scanned it, but I just kind of grabbed what I thought you'd like. I don't know. I,
That's
you
fine.
know,
Grab cool stuff because I'm not. I'm trying to get people to buy this book. Go out and buy this book. Yeah, it's
yeah.
he's such a master of coloring, of using negative space. Uh, we're getting close to the end of this book and everything's gelling. I don't even know who these guys are sometimes. Like it's been so long since I read oldish. She's like, I don't know who the guy to the left is. He could just be a new science guy,
Right, right.
you know. Um, Look at that first panel. Look how much work is in that panel, dude. Look at the inking, the colors. It's just, I really do dig this book.
Yeah, these. I mean, what's weird about it, what's kind of crazy about it is that if you look at this, and then you look at like issue like two, or grab any of the round books, just open it up.
Right.
Like you can't
Hmm.
be like, this is clearly and done in 2025. You know what I mean? Like that's what I think is. I don't know how it's possible that he can do that.
I'm
And
glad you grabbed this page. I thought this page was incredible.
of course, yeah, that's insane. That's it. Well, I grabbed this page because it looks like Orion.
Yes.
It's Orion's like skiff, right?
Yep.
Or Captain Victory's skiff, which is Orion's skiff anyway. So,
Correct.
but also because it has organic lettering in it, and I love that, and that's my favorite. But again, to your strength again, the organic lettering, the use of negative space. It's just a masterclass. Masterclass. Now, what's funny about this is that, and I think this guy's like, is he not? I mean, he's basically wearing almost like a New Gods, like Shade the Changing Man type of outfit, but I'm not
It's
sure
everything that
who
he
the analog
loves.
to. Yeah.
Yeah. I love
Um,
the yellow
did you
paper.
see
Everything's
this
really good.
preview in the back? This is very tempting here because they have a lot
Yes.
of pages. So this is I guess excerpts from uh from that book. So that's something, man.
That's a something.
I'm gonna have to get that book. So um
So
okay.
is this something else that you did not read or
I just scanned this and look, I'm gonna get mad about it, right? Because this is what the fifth artist, fourth artist, fifth artist.
it's
Tommy
the
Lee Edwards can't finish this book.
I don't know. Tommy Lee Edwards didn't finish the last miniseries, but it got finished by Matthew Dow Smith. And like I
But it's
like
the fifth
Matthew Dow
artist.
Smith, but I don't like him on Jupiter's Legacy.
So
There's
you
something
have
I don't think he draws the characters that great.
if
So
it's
this new guy comes on, Lee
uh
Carter, who I am not familiar with and did not do any research to find out who he was. But you know what? He's fine. He's clean. He's doing a good job drawing all the characters differently.
yeah, I
We
mean
got one.
look, it's fine. I'm not excited about and did John Workman letter I just want consistency. So if I'm going to pick up Jupiter's Legacy, the first the first two miniseries are
Frank Quitely
Frank
through
Wiley,
and
right?
through. Right.
Correct. But it did not have. I don't believe it had John Workman lettering. The John Workman
I
lettering
feel like you're correct.
came because I don't think Tommy Lee Edwards, because he came from the literal school of Walt Simonson. Literal school. Walt Simonson taught Tommy Lee Edwards and Jean Paul Leon at the same exact time. I think Tommy Lee Edwards may have been a little bit later. Tommy Lee Edwards came up through Milestone, which John Workman worked a lot with him. I don't really know if there is Tommy Lee Edwards. I think 1984, I believe, is John Workman lettering, and that is also Mark Millar. But
1985.
1985, yeah. But I feel that like so you have that lettering coming from this. If I'm going to have okay, so if I pick up a Hellboy book, what am I going to get? I'm going to get Dave Stewart-esque colors, even if it's not Dave
Correct.
Stewart. Michelle Madsen
Right.
just did the most recent couple things, and she's doing it in the style of. It's not different, right?
Hmm.
And I'm going to get Clem Robbins lettering,
Right.
and it's going to feel just the cover layout, the first page, it's going to feel like that. This is now the fifth or sixth. It makes me not want to read it. This is
I
the
wish.
sixth or seventh. They should have figured out a way to if you're going to do because the third storyline was Wilfredo Torres,
Yes. The flashback,
the
the
flashback.
flashback, the one that takes place in like the 50s.
Mhm.
He wanted to call it like the Mad Men of Jupiter's Legacy. And like Wilfredo Torres starts it off, but I think he loses his wife. And then they get like a fill-in guy. Then they announce Chris Sprouse is going to finish it. I'm like, great. But they're in the middle of like a 12-part storyline, like with
Mhm.
no time to start. You know, that Jupiter's, I don't even think it's called Jupiter's Legacy. I think it's called something else.
Circle. That's
Yeah,
ironic.
maybe Jupiter Circle. And so he's rushed it and then he doesn't finish it. And then the next two series, that's when you bring in Tommy Lee Edwards. And I'm like, he was fine to start off the books with. But like he should
Right.
have like doubled down on Chris Sprouse. Like, hey, Chris Sprouse, take a year to draw this series. This series was supposed to come out like a year and a half ago. Like this
Right.
book
Right.
is
Right.
super late, and you're still giving me three different artists to draw 5 issues.
Yeah, man.
Bad
No good.
move. And you
No good.
still got a Matthew Dow Smith issue in the middle of this, which kind of, I don't want to say sucks, but it does.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee Edwards' 2 issues are gorgeous. This is very simple, very clean. There's nothing, I don't think there's anything special about this, but he's taking the time to make everyone look different.
Yeah,
At least their
I hated
costumes.
this. I hated this page.
I don't like
I
that.
hated this page. But here's the thing: is I just zoomed in seriously. You just put your hand over that. And I'm like, what am I looking at? Look at National Geographic.
Yeah.
Like I just it's you know. However, I kind of love the coloring of and design of these guys. Like I think the red cut through is really good.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a couple things, right? I feel like it could even be a little bit of Tula Lute, a little bit of Tommy Lee Edwards, a little bit of Arrow Olivetti when Arrow
Hmm.
Olivetti did the color like paintery style,
Yeah.
digital style, a little bit of like the paintery digital style of like Liam Sharp. So like I feel that like yes, if this person started from issue one, and I just don't know if there's editing involved in this thing. Like I know that it's at Dark Horse technically, but like I just don't like these backgrounds like this. Like
No.
we've seen from from Deadpool, like you can have some spacious backgrounds and have the colors do some things. I know this guy is
Right.
the colorist and all that, and again that could be more of an aesthetic thing. I don't know, but I feel like the design and coloring is good. The separation of the characters on in the forefront is good. This page is good technically. Feels like Errol Betty, but it's not that impactful, right? I just like the blood, and I don't know. This person may be a little newer. Again, if this series started with this artist, I think we wouldn't be having that big of a problem. We
I
would be
think it's
used
very
to it by
strange
now.
that Mark Miller has the choice of anyone in comics to draw this.
Mhm.
Anyone is within his budget for this comic, and he just doesn't. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I don't know what I want from this.
I don't know. I don't want it. I don't know. But it makes me not ever want to complete this. You know what I mean? That's the problem is I never want to go back and be like, oh, I'll put that on and be ready for it
Like, could it be hard?
versus
Like the minute Quitely wasn't going to draw something, I'd be like, well, this is my Superman family in a way.
mm,
Can you hire Jerry Ordway?
mm, right,
Would you? You know what? If you had gotten Jerry Ordway to draw Jupiter Circle or the last 2 volumes of this, I would have been through the roof, dude.
right,
Give me a Superman style artist. Like you love Superman. This is the closest. This is he heralded this book as his Crisis on Infinite Earths. His everything he ever wanted to do in superheroes was supposed to be done in this book. I don't think he does that, by the way.
mm,
I think he pulls back and focuses, which is fine. I think Mark Miller suffers from too many ideas, and that's why we've gotten so many different miniseries. Sometimes they even feel like they're kind of alike because he's learned to make different IPs out of stuff.
right, right.
Like this could have been 100 issues of his superhero saga, but
Yeah,
why do that when you could do miniseries?
but I wonder what the contract is per. Does he have to have so many issues out per year through Dark Horse? I mean, there might be something in effect to that they need him to still operate at a certain level, even though it's someone independent, and Netflix is kind of owning him or
Netflix doesn't
whatever.
even. I don't even think they care about the comics like at all.
They
He's
just
just an
right,
he's just an IP factory at this point.
right, right, right.
He's the one pushing for the comics. So it's weird to me that he doesn't push for comics because he already knows a bunch of people. Like he's worked with Adam Kubert. He's worked with Tom Raimi, Tom Rainey. Like you can think of all the Marvel people he's worked with
Mm,
already. You
right, right,
know,
right. Oh, Tom Rainey would be great for this too. He's
Tom Rainey would have
mm,
been really good for this.
mm.
I don't even know if he's doing anything right now. Nice guy.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You know what's funny? I've rarely ever said I met that comic guy. He sucked.
Right.
Oh,
Oh,
there's one.
that's
There's one more recently, but
there's one.
everyone else.
I was there for that. So yeah, so I know that. Hold on one. All right, here it is. Deadpool team up five,
Number
the
number 5,
final issue
the final Deadpool and Marvel comic by Rob Liefeld.
for now. For now.
Not for now. It was for now. When he announced this would be his final Deadpool book, he specifically said this is my final Deadpool book because he still had other ideas, He had a Cable miniseries and he had a
Mm.
Major X miniseries, both planned. And I guess the treatment at Marvel, stuff like that, there's all sorts of behind the scenes machinations that we don't even know about. He just told us like one story, one
Right.
epic, crazy, being treated like shit story.
Yeah.
And we know, it was Marvel up high because Marvel, the publisher, still wants to do stuff with them. They still offered him the Cable ongoing series. They offered him an X-Force one shot. They still want to do those other projects with him. But he's refocusing. He knows he thinks he has 5 years worth of good drawing left in him, and he wants
Mm.
to spend that time doing his stuff, his extreme characters, his new characters. He has new concepts he hasn't even gotten to yet. And he said he would be open to DC if like Jim Lee wasn't there. He says as long as Jim Lee's there, you're never top. You're never they never will focus on you. I'm like, that's interesting. Because the rumor's always been that Jim Lee is going to go to Marvel at some point, go back and do X-Men.
Right. Yeah.
That's probably going to be Jim Lee's victory lap at some point. Like if Jim Lee has one final project in him before he feels like he's going to trend downhill,
Mhm.
it'll be that last X-Men story.
Right. Right. No, I think
But
that's
that's
right.
all, that's it's good to have. I think these creators they do these victory laps and I'm glad. Like I don't think Batman Odyssey by Neil Adams was particularly great, but like it's good, it's heartwarming to see Neil Adams draw Batman again.
Yeah, he drew
You
Deadman
know,
again too. Yeah, I mean, he went
he
back
drew
and do like he did what he wanted to do. So yeah, I don't know. I feel it like
you
yeah,
know,
I feel like it's better for them to be celebrated. I feel like now that we're in a better con culture, we're just in a better creator culture because of social media. They're a little more they're not as like could be forgotten per se, right? Like Herb Trimp, we're all uh went a certain way and is gone, right? And we're all like, shit. You know what I mean? The same thing with me and like Rudy Nebres, who we would see him at cons 10, 15 years ago. I'm like, oh, look at that has been or whatever. And now I'm like, I wonder how much you would charge me if I got this page recreate. You know what I mean? It's
no, no, it
crazy,
would
you
I would
know?
love to see him approach Marvel with a new project. All these older guys, I'd love to see him. Like honestly, if Norm Brayfogle were still with us, I think we'd be getting new Batman stories from him.
Yeah, I think so. I think that, yeah, I think they did that one retro thing and then that was there, but he started doing some other stuff and then that was it. He wasn't here anymore. But
Well,
no,
yeah,
I think
those
you're right. I think you're right. Yeah, I think
we,
that
we like it.
that's
I
something
mean,
that
we're getting a
pro.
Venom short story by Eric Larson at some point.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, so this is Liefeld's swan song for the Marvel Universe. And we start right off, boom, there's Deadpool. Such a Spidey Deadpool pose.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. I definitely see the belt a little more prominent there. Like I know it was
Mhm.
there, but um yeah, but he's using the Hercules I think that's the Bob Layton like, thing too. It's on
That
his
mace, look at
hammer.
that. I love that thing.
Yeah, that's really fun. I like the Shatterstar beard too. I think that Shatterstar
Yeah,
beard is pretty
he's
shit.
he's from the future. Major X is from the future. He's bringing forth like all these things. Like the whole thing of this story is he knows it's the last. So he's got this journal that Deadpool's talking over the whole thing, kind of what he thinks about the characters. And Liefeld said, read this in two ways. You can read this as Deadpool, but you can also read it as Rob Liefeld. So he says he put some of his heart into this, some of the dialogue, because it's his actual thoughts and feelings on some of these characters.
Mhm. Best bub forever. Best bubs
Best
forever.
bub. You know what? That's a funny line.
That's a funny line. Yeah.
And he's writing it kind of really good. Like you can almost read when you read Deadpool, you can almost hear Ryan Reynolds' voice saying these lines. Like he's got a good read on his I guess speech patterns.
Yeah, I like the gun and the sword. I think that looks really good. I think that's really fun.
I think it's funny
Reflection.
that the orange Major X character is called Commander X. Um,
Right.
which was Bob Harris's suggestion for it's either Bob or maybe it was Wheezy Simonson when Liefeld came in with Cable. They're like, oh, maybe we could call him Commander X. And Liefeld's like, no, let's call him Cable.
So, well, that's upcoming. Yeah, so that's
That's
pretty
a
funny. I like,
so,
yeah.
so we're digging this whole book. Shatterstar looks cool. And I'm glad he brought Shatterstar into this because he created Shatterstar. Shatterstar is his creation. Um, I'll talk more about what I want to say later. But it's a cool new design for Satisfyer. This is a cool looking page. His guns making like an X on his back on Cable. That's crazy.
Yeah, I love all the Cable stuff. That's really
It's
good.
fun, dude. Cable is my favorite Liefeld Marvel creation. Like I've
Yeah, I
always
think
preferred
so.
Cable over Deadpool.
Yeah, I think so. It's just it's a bit more pure. I zoomed on this because it's got like look at that guy's butt, very prominent
Look at that butt.
buttocks there.
That is Canada's ass.
That is it's Canada's. Um, now
It's just going through.
I
We're
don't
not reading it for
remember.
you, but just
I
going through
know
the pages.
I
It's like
don't
a nice celebration of.
I don't remember Dragon Lord's costume. Is it as that? Is it just like that? Is that
I'm pretty
verbatim?
sure. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
that's pretty funny because he does get a little bit of a redesign towards the end. So
Yes.
I know Ghost Spider's in this, but kind of not in this. I also don't know where that web is
Yeah,
going.
I think are they in Weird World? At some points they're in Weird World. Where'd Kristar go? I don't know. I kind of really loved watching Liefeld draw Kristar.
Right,
Liefeld is
right.
like particularly great at drawing 80s characters. Like his Thundercats look great. You know,
Yeah,
like I want to see him draw more. Like I think I said to you before, I would love Oni Press and the hashtag Nacellverse. Like just get Liefeld covers. Sectars, yes.
mhm,
Atom Power, yes.
right,
You know,
right,
his style just goes lends well to those characters. And here we go. This is his Grant Morrison esque. You know, let me appear in my own comic,
right, right, right.
and it's cool. And it's Commander X, which I said, which is funny because you know that's the name he didn't like. But I think this whole group is like Major X, Commander X, Lieutenant X. There's a bunch of them I think that showed up in Major X number zero.
Mhm.
So Marvel's asked to use these characters, and Liefeld's like said, "Well, wait till Deadpool team up's over, and then have at them. They're your characters now."
Right. But I'll just I
So,
doubt anyone's going to reuse Commander X then. So because when I
well, you
first
can reuse
saw
them. They'll just
when I
never take his mask off again.
well, yeah, was this leaked or something? I feel like Bleeding Cool had this image like a while ago.
I feel like they did. Like
Yeah,
this book
such a
got
good
held
name.
up for 2 weeks because Marvel wanted Liefeld's life rights. Life was like, yeah, I don't feel comfortable about that. Plus, I've been on other covers in the past, so you don't need anything else from me.
Marvel's crazy, dude. That's not good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I. But here's this new. See, I like this design. I think I like this design. So I feel like in where this was in storyline wise, I would have almost preferred that this
oh
design
yeah,
more. But
I think someone else will probably use this character at some point, and that's a cool looking design. The beard, the long hair, very very Aquarius looking. Remember Aquarius, Marvel character,
yeah,
looks like
yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. Dead. Pretty sure
And then
dead.
like that's it. That's it ends there. And I'm like, no, I want more. Like
Yeah,
I want
when
like this was
When Bug Wars came out, I know I talked about that earlier where I was saying like give him a page at the end. We got a page at the end. We got this, but that's not which clearly I feel is made by who designed Life Up Books, right? That's not a Marvel ad. You know what I mean? Like that's fine. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying like you can't give him a page plus an ad. Like give him a page to be like, "Hey, it's my swan song," blah blah blah. Like I just feel like it's so
like
crappy. And it
like
did feel truncated. It felt like there should have been like three more pages, three more story page, one page, even a page. Because I thought it was wrong when I'm reading. I was like, oh, and then it says the end. I'm like the end, and then I go to the next, and I'm like, nope, it's okay. I guess that's the end. You know, so it's
fan
just
fan me. Level one. I would have liked to seen some double page splashes like here's Cable like crazy guns, cable shooting, whatever, TK powers,
mm,
crazy double page splash of Deadpool doing whatever. I would have liked to have seen some of the other Liefeld creations in this last issue.
mm,
Or, like here's Domino doing something crazy. Like that's a Liefeld creation, you know?
yeah,
Something along those lines. And it's like there's like a multiverse thing going on here because Ghost Spider's not in our universe. So she had to come from another universe. And maybe Weird World is like this nexus.
mm,
And if there's an opening for her to come in there, you know who I would have liked to have seen show up? Agent of Shield Wolverine. That would have been the best callback. One of the best callbacks you could have done for a
mm.
Liefeld final issue.
Right,
I would
right,
love to
right,
have seen, oh my God, Agent of Shield Wolverine drama Liefeld.
right. Yeah,
Stop, complete, great. The only other crazy thing, Mark, would have been like The other villains who could be helping out the Dragon Lord or whatever, the Zodiac, because Liefeld's first Marvel job was drawing the Zodiac for the Marvel Universe.
Oh, right, I see. Right.
That's just a funny callback in my own mind.
Yeah, I
Would have
mean,
been a
you
good,
don't have Feral, you don't have Warpath. Like, I mean, I know Warpath technically is a spin-off of his character, but no, I would have liked to have seen like I can just
maybe
see,
one.
you can see it too. You can see page 2 and 3 of like X-Force #1 with like
Yeah,
Cable hanging back like this, and like if you had everyone, or even if you
or
homage that,
maybe a double
you
page
know.
splash of just like see a Marvel, and there's Gideon and Strife and uh Wild Side, right? You got the whole
Mm,
Mutant Liberation Front. You got like Heroes Reborn stuff. It's just been a double page spread of like that's what I would like to have seen. Like everything. Like you name it, it's there.
right. Yeah.
I don't think because like I said, when he originally formulated this series, he wasn't planning on stop working for Marvel. He was just like, I'm good with Deadpool. I've said everything. I've done every Deadpool pose,
Right.
you know? And he's drawn Deadpool thousands of times. Like I get it, you know?
Yeah, because he did
So
all the
in the
covers a
end,
couple years ago.
this series has been good. It's been fun. It's been crazy. Like I said, highlights for me. I think Liefeld is just really happy to get Dragon Lord out into the public awareness again. I think that was his biggest goal was like Dragon Lord. And me, I'm like, no, draw more Crystar. I love Crystar.
Right.
Crystar is barely more famous than Dragon Lord. At least Crystar had a toy.
Yeah, I like, but we a couple weeks ago when we talked about this and a couple other things, like we feel like even this we need like another omnibus, like past that X Force omnibus. Because I'm not sure if that X Force omnibus has like I think it probably starts in New Mutants
It,
'98, right?
you're right.
Right.
It does not have New Mutants. Yeah, 85 on up.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
there should be. It's a shame that like I don't think Liefeld they never contact the creator. They go, hey, what should we put in this omnibus, or how many omnibuses should we do? Because he's easily got four Marvel omnibuses.
there's one missing. I own the one. There's like a Marvel Universe by. I mean, it may not be in print, but
But
it's there
also
in
that
case you
Deadpool,
ever put that in print.
yeah, that Deadpool isn't. It's got Liefeld in it, but it's just all the Deadpool stuff. So yeah, you're missing the Marvel Universe omnibus, or you know, uh, yeah, there's another one, right? Doesn't one collect his early weird stuff like the?
I got that. Well, I got the Marvel Universe one has Onslaught, has the What If, has um
Does it have
Marvel
the
Comics
Marvel Comic
Presents
Presents?
stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Does it have X Factor 40 or X-Men 245?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it has
Amazing
it's
Spider-Man annual.
yeah, it's yeah, with She-Hulk, yeah. That's pretty complete. I don't It doesn't have like the Marvel Universe pages, I don't believe, but like but still. Yeah, I just feel like that if like this has a very specific audience. Like not many people are going to go in the store and decide that they're buying this. I mean, again, when we looked at the shipping list earlier, skipping through something, space things out. You had 3 Deadpool books come out this week. Why?
Yeah.
It was four or
No,
five weeks
legit.
a
Why?
month. Like
That's
just
overkill.
spread it out. It's just it's dumb. It's like again, there's only so much that like there's only so much money per. And if I buy a Deadpool book at the beginning of the month, the Deadpool Wolverine book, the ongoing is solid, right? I guess that's an ongoing. I think it is.
I think so.
The regular Deadpool book, I don't think. I think they. I don't know. I didn't read that. I don't care. That to me is like volume 9, 10. I don't know how many volumes like the regular Deadpool book ongoing has had, but I haven't liked any really take since the Duggan that ended well. Like that's it. Maybe it should be on rest a little bit. I feel like same thing happens to Ghost Spider every 20 issues they cancel it, reboot it. I feel like Deadpool's the same thing. Shouldn't
I think
be.
that's the way it is with most Marvel books.
Yeah, it's just it's a mess. It's a mess. So, but I feel like even with this page, like that's probably what's in print right now. But we didn't even know that the Batter Blood, they didn't put a Batter Blood hardcover out. If you bought the Bad Blood hardcover when it came out, they put a Batter Blood as series. Does this Bad Blood, is that just a reprint, or is that the reprint of the mini that happened that he did extra stuff in?
I think this is a reprint. I think this is a reprint of the mini.
I see. Okay,
I think,
which is better because
which is
that
because
has
it's
the
got
extra
extra
pages.
pages in it, right?
Right. We want all the pages. Give me all the
Yes.
pages. Give me all the sketches. Give me all like you don't have to give me like the Marvel Age. I have the Marvel Age X Force issue, which has the first like 5 pages of X-Force in different coloring.
Right.
I got that. I love it. You know what I mean? So,
And they should
and a
put,
different cover. You know,
but they should release a Banner Blood hardcover to match the original Deadpool Bad Blood hardcover because there's people there who want the same thing. They like their similar designs, you know. And then I guess they should do an omnibus of like I don't know. We talked about this before. I can tell you a
yeah, it
hundred
should be
different
Major
options
X.
that
Right. It should be
a Major X Banner
Deadpool
Blood,
Core, Major X, Bad Blood, Better Blood, X Force Mini. No,
X Force Mini,
X
X
Force
Force
Mini,
Kill Shot.
X Force Shatterstar Mini, technically. Marat.
Yeah, right.
Um, and then, yeah, the Kill Shot one shot. And
Yeah,
then
that's more than
and
an
then
omnibus.
whatever on the whatever stuff he had.
Right.
Didn't he have a bunch of
Short
Deadpool
stories.
covers?
Yeah, seven. Well, I think
7
he's
Deadly
done.
Sins and
I
stuff.
think somebody
Like,
counted them. There's probably about 200 Deadpool covers by Liefeld.
yeah,
That's a hardcover in itself.
yeah.
Because you think about just the past couple of years, he's had all the nerdy 30, all the Ometer covers, variants for every book. Yeah, there's a lot there, dude. That's a lot.
Give it to me.
No, give it all
Give
to
it
me.
to me hard.
Organize it. I'll organize it.
You
I got
organize
a
it.
plan. I have a plan.
Hmm.
So I think that's it, right? That's all the books for the week.
Yep.
We did our
That's it.
reviews.
Splorch.
Earlier in the week, we did the news.
That's
So
right. Question mark. Mark down. Lots of specials coming up. Lots of specials. Lots of reviews. But that's it. Happy reading. Go Birds. I guess I can't say. I don't have to say Go Birds anymore,
stop.
right?
You don't say anything. Go Captain America movie. Let's hope it does good. I went and saw it. I liked it. I give it a thumbs, like not quite up, maybe
I
angled.
can't wait to see it and then be mad about it, and then we review it and I'll be mad.
That's fine.
I feel I'll be mad. I'm gonna try. You know what? I'm gonna try. I just have trouble. Just have trouble.
Listen,
Uh,
go and chill, and see what you like,
and
and we'll talk
then
about it.
Saturday Live is tonight. Saturday Live.
That's true.
Saturday Live
That's true. Is
50.
it is
SNL
it going to
50.
be aired on Peacock, or do I gotta wait a day?
No, it's aired. I think it's straight. Yeah, they do. They basically
Simulcast.
do like a live stream. Yeah, basically, which is
All
pretty
right.
cool because they do that with the SNL show. Last night they replayed season one, episode one. I think verbatim. And then their concert was on Friday. Saturday was the replay of the Questlove produced music of Saturday Night Live, which just showed a bunch of old performances and
Right.
interviews about the performance. So that was solid too.
What time does that come out
Um,
tonight? 9 or 8?
8. There's a pre-show too. There's a red carpet, I believe, starts at 7 or 6. So
All right.
so you have literal red carpet, and then and then direct show, which will probably have sketches and guest stars and probably cursing. So very exciting. Concert had
Cool.
lots of cursing. So,
All right, everyone.
all right,
Have a great
peace
week.
out. See you guys.
Awestruck out.